Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode number 292, with me, George, and this week again, joined by the returning Triple S, Pasta Compound Survivor, to my still mentally checked in at El Paso. How's it going, Seb?
It's going well. What about yourself?
Oh, you know, it's one of those weeks. I'm moving, I'm decorating, I don't know who I am. I've been executing some very peculiar, but not for me, gaming habits, which we'll get into in a hot moment. But other than that, yeah, all good. Apart from obviously me still being checked in at El Paso, but I'm getting better.
One day you're going to visit Texas and you're going to be like, where's this El Paso place we've been talking about for so long?
Don't break the fourth wall too soon. You know, yeah. I'm still getting sort of donations from people just giving page for supporting us after El Paso. So yeah,
so we don't want to break that fourth wall.
Yeah, keep that quiet.
Yeah, I got you.
The Pasta Compound Survivors Fund. I mean, it's quite the cash pile, to be honest with you. So yeah.
And the crazy thing is, he's still out there. He's like the Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, like he's the Jason. You know, he's still out there. You just don't know.
I heard he's been nominated as a Michigan Republican judge.
It feels about right. It feels about right. Somebody like that being in office, it feels about right.
Yeah, he appeared out of nowhere. He's got the right credentials, apparently. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but there was one of the episodes where he was on the campaign trail with Trump, would you believe? And him and Pastor ended up with us having a hot tub.
I believe it. He wants to make the flock great again. Make the flock great again.
The flock. Oh. Anyway, let's hide that under the carpet, pretend it never happened. It technically never happened. The question I suppose I really want to ask is, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm a roguelike sicko, as you probably know. If you don't know already, you probably should.
Why do you do it to yourself? Why do you do it?
I love it. I love it. It's my casino. It really is. It's like it's my casino in a way. It's like, you know how like you hear people who go to the casino and they're like, just one more pull at the slot machine, just one more quarter, and that's it.
You've not jumped back on the Balatro wagon, have you?
Nah, not this time.
That's dead, is it? That's dead to you now.
I try to stay off of Balatro because I know of its power, but like I'm playing this game called Super Fantasy Kingdom. It is, yeah. So it's like imagine Super Mario, but instead of it being, it's just like the art scheme of Mario. It's the levelification of it to where like you're on a map. You start off as your little kingdom, and you basically have like these little set tiles that you can put on whether or not you want to build your tavern or different, like basically your different upgrades that you'd see in like a medieval style kingdom. And then you have like smaller tiles that you can build homes. You can build like fishing docks and all that kind of stuff at. So you have workers, and all these workers that basically manage your kingdom. And then you also have on top of your kingdom, you have what is called the second phase of the game. And that's the phase to where it's an auto battler that always goes on, and you have to upgrade your knights and upgrade your medieval champions, so to speak. And they're always trying to keep your kingdom safe. Meanwhile, on your kingdom side of the fence, in this Super Mario style, I would say 2-bit art style, you are always trying to add things to your kingdom. And the run ends whenever your knights inevitably fail and your kingdom is basically ransacked. But like there's this evil witch that's put a curse on your king, and he always comes back from the dead. So you always start your kingdom back from square one. And that's the loop. And each time you die, of course, the Hadesification of it is like you get a little stronger, you get a little wiser, you get another resource to add to your kingdom. That resource in turn adds to your knights or adds to your like resource management gains, so to speak. And it's just like I love city builders. I'm like you in that sense, to where I love city builders and I love roguelike games. This combines my two sick addictions of video games, and it basically gives it to me in a bite-sized format to where even a toaster could run this game. It feels like this game could have been put on a old GBA and it would have ran perfectly.
Right, so it's got like a. Just talk me through the knights battling section. Is that just like a slider on the screen, or can you flip to it and see them like pixels slapping each other? What's
Oh,
the,
it's real time. It's like it's an auto battler for sure, but like you are in real time. Like there's your kingdom. You as you're building it up, you can scroll upwards, and as you scroll upwards, you see your knights. There's like a tree line at the very top, and out of that tree line at the very top, there's always hordes of like basically all your medieval like pop culture lores. So like you start off trying to kill these halflings. These halflings are trying to invade your court because they want to make it to the new Shire. So from there it upgrades, it continuously upgrades to where like you might be fighting orcs, you might be fighting goblins, you might be fighting like Degians, which are like genies, you know, you might be fighting like inference like from final like that remind me of Final Fantasy. It is very pop culture heavy as well, is why I like it. It's also like it keeps me engaged and it also makes me chuckle a little bit because the story it's like it is surface level, it's ridiculous, but on the top when you're battling, you start off with a hero, one hero, and you can give your hero like two different attributes, either like raise his strength twice or raise like his defense twice or like mix and match. And then from there, you just continuously get like different heroes. Like I got a monk, I like doing monks, I like doing like archers and all that kind of like that has my heroes back because he's a regular like Knights of the Round Table sort of knight. He just has like his steed and his sword, and from there, like he does nothing but melee attacks. And then you sort of have to mix and match. Like melee attacks do better against like arsenal, like creatures that have arsenals and the creatures that have magic, and then like magic attacks do better against like melee. And so it's like it's a Pokemon rock paper scissors like auto battler that's going on above you, while below you're trying to manage your kingdom and all that's kind of going on. And it's
what
fascinating to me because
formats hurt me now? What formats is it on? Say PSP.
PSP, that would be funny. Um, Let me pull that up. Super Fantasy Kingdom. I This thing could run on a toaster, so I'd be surprised if it's not going to be put on everything. But I played
Vita?
this on my Steam. Yeah, I'd be playing. I'm playing this on the Steam Deck, so of course I'm playing on PC. But like, it looks like it has a upcoming Switch edition coming out soon.
You said it'd run on a toaster. You weren't wrong.
No, for sure. Now it's like
Switch
it
one
is.
or just generic
I
Switch?
It just says Switch. And a lot of the times when everything says generic Switch, it's like it runs on Switch One, and then like it'll probably maybe take advantage of the upgrades that Switch Two has to, bring as wonderful
Yeah,
as those are. But
sadly,
like,
one of my favorite games on Switch 1 looks so awful on Switch 2. It's now,
wow.
oh mate, it killed it. Jurassic World Evolution on Switch was a tasty
Oh,
little game. Yeah, there was some cutbacks, don't get me wrong, but who really cares on that game? Not me.
is that the one where you're managing the parks?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was actually just nice to have on the Switch. And then all of a sudden now it's drowned in this blue and pink neon glow, everything. Apart from the menus, they look crisp, perfect. Switch is upgraded
Huh.
and they look slick. All the gameplay is bathed in this almost Vice City-like glow. I half expect a
Oh,
Velociraptor to come steaming down the road in a Lamborghini, probably with a bag of
oh,
white
that's rough.
powder in the boot. It's probably Daz, Persil, Tide. I don't know. More washing powder. What washing powder's famous in the States?
Oh, we got a lot. Like Tide. that
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Yeah,
yeah.
like we
Okay.
got a lot of them.
So I was close.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
But
But
anyway,
no,
this game sounds like my kind of jam, so I'm quite excited for it. Is there anything else that you've been playing?
nothing. I'm trying to think of if it's a George interesting game
Oh,
because
don't
I've been
worry about
playing
me because there's thousands of people at home that just want to know.
Outer Worlds 2.
Oh, how's that shaping up for you?
I like it but don't love it. If that's like makes sense. I
How does it
think it's
compare
fine.
to one? Talk to me about like the
I
planetary
like the act.
transitions, etc. Are they still the same or is it different this time?
No, it's streamlined a lot, but that's streamlined a lot. I think the writing is better. I do think like the combat for sure, which was my problem with the first one was like for some reason on the first game, the Outer Worlds was like a game that I wanted to love but never quite got into. It's like I would find myself doing the same intro three times over and hoping that each time I would love it, and for some reason it never clicked, even though I kept
Yeah,
like
it's
I
exactly
kept
where
going
I'm
back.
at with it. It's
I
exactly
kept
where I'm
going
at.
back to it every time I upgraded it into a new console. I was like, this might be the run. Maybe a new console might do it.
Yeah.
And it was just, it just never hit. It just never hit. The Outer Wars 2, I think it's the combat. I think it's much better. I think it's a lot more deep and layered, in a way to where like they have nuanced weapons that I think can allow you to get into the nitty gritty and really play with like the sandbox that is like this weird wacky sci-fi world a lot better. Like you can make
Mm.
there's a shrink gun that's like amazing. There's little things like that to where I'm like, oh, I wish this feels more like Fallout now than Outer Worlds first did, and I think
Mm.
that's better. But then like the other things, I still don't necessarily love the world and setting. I feel like it is Rick and Morty meta enough to where I'm like, I feel like a lot of people are going to appreciate that, but I also feel like for some reason it is satirical and to the point to where I'm like, some of these jokes don't quite hit, and I know we're evil corporation, evil corporation, evil corporation, and I get the point of the game, but I was just like, some of that I feel like is laid on a little thick. Outside of that, I feel like this I feel like this company in particular, especially with Avowed as well, has gone like so hard in not letting you like get old school connections with your companions because like in Fallout, I would probably say Mass Effect, I would probably say like other games of its ilk, like you're building connections to these a persona as well. Like you're building connections to these people. Some of it is romantically involved. A lot of it's friendship involved.
Yeah.
Like there's no romance options here, which feels weird in the sense to where like you're building real connections with these people. There's no romance
Mm.
options. You're building friendships. I feel like unlike Avowed, where Avowed felt like they had characters for the sake of having characters there, like I feel like Avowed's cardinal sin is like no matter what you did and how much those characters disagreed with whatever you did, they were just going to ride it out with you anyways. Like they were going to go on the journey with you no matter what. Like
Yeah.
versus Mass
Grudgingly
Effect.
there.
Yeah. No, not I mean they would say, "Oh, I didn't agree with that choice," and then it was like they had amnesia, like like
Oh,
two stages
yeah.
later, and they were
Okay.
they were
That's
right there
worse.
with the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Versus, I feel like this game does a little better with the writing, but I still feel like some of the companions aren't quite as fleshed out as BioWare would probably have done it.
Mm.
But and I'm talking about old school BioWare. I'm not talking about Veilguard. But so I'm like, I love it. I like it.
Talk
Don't
to
necessarily love it.
me. May I ask some questions about the speechcraft? Because that was one of my
Yeah, for sure.
in the times that I've dallied with Outer Worlds, and much like you, I've bounced off it more times than not. But one of the ways of playing it that I really enjoyed was just maxing out the speechcraft and playing it that way. Is the pacifist ability still within Outer Worlds, even with this improved combat?
Yeah. That's still in there. You can talk your way out of a lot of different things and also talk your way into a lot of things. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like they went really hard on those options. And so I'm like, there's missions to where your speechcraft is better than my baseline character, and you might get missions because you talked yourself into certain scenarios. So
Yeah.
that's why I said I think it's more layered and more thought provoking. But I think it's more of a RPG than the Outer Worlds was. Like, but you also have to have if okay, so like based on the story, no spoilers, people, but based on the story that is told, I feel like if you're an evil character who's just like as evil can get, sometimes the stories and the side quests where like the side quest by nature wants you to be a helpful person doesn't quite make sense for the character that you're role playing as. But
Yeah.
like if you're playing as the classic Paragon, the classic good guy, this game opens up so many different directions based on how you play the game. So I'm like, it feels like by virtue, if you want to 100% this game, you're probably going to need to do multiple playthroughs and also be a good guy in through one of them to where like you're to actually 100% everything. So I'm
Hmm.
like, it's not quite as flexible as I would want it to be as far as like I don't agree with this choice. I do agree with this choice. So, but either way, I'm gonna get to like similar destinations. No, you very much veer to different endpoints and get different attributes based on how you kind of approach the game in a lot of ways.
Hmm. I, you said before you don't like the setting so much. I mean, there's elements of that that I really appreciated. There's the almost cowboy aesthetic, Firefly feeling to it. One of the things that I liked was the ship AI and things like that, but there's a lack of customization, etc., in the game. Has that been?
Not really. It's more it's just as streamlined as before, but I would probably say like the I wish the writers with Obsidian would have would have like fleshed out all of the things they did in Outer Worlds 2 and been the main composers on Starfield. Because I feel like Starfield has a better setting and better ship system.
Mm.
And but like Obsidian has a better story. I would argue characters. I would argue
Mate,
like
I'll I'll be
yeah.
honest. I half convinced myself that Outer Worlds 2 would be running a variation of the Starfield engine. I just assumed, I was like, yeah, okay, that's what that's going to be. That makes sense to me. Maybe they'll make it work. And yet it's not. I don't know. It seems a bit silly.
No, I think they're so similar, and that's what's frustrating about this. It's like they're such a similar game, but they're so different. They're like micro pockets of space sci-fi to where
Yeah.
like it is this is more streamlined, this is more focused, this is more compact, which is pretty much a lot of the complaints I had about like Starfield. I feel like it was too ambitious, too ambiguous, and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
it was like yeah, it feels similar in the same way that they're both. You can pick up anything in the world and kind of mess with it and fiddle with it and kind of talk your way into and out of all the lot of situations. This one has better writing, so I'm like, if you're a person who cares about story, cares about writing, who cares about like the wacky funness that Obsidian can deliver, I think like Outer Worlds 2 is for sure going to be for you. But if you want like a space sci-fi adventure to where like I want to go around and just mess with the ships and kind of very tinker with like the customization of my ship and such like that, Starfield's going to be more up your alley. But
Mhm.
like it feels like if those two would have got together, they would have had like a real stellar video game space experience, you
I
know?
think so. Like I say, I thought in my mind, it made sense to me that they would grab hold of the Starfield engine. I know they're different games, but the elements of the interplanetary exploration, etc., just sort of lends itself to just piggybacking off of that, and then all you got to do is populate the world. But again, we don't know enough about the situation to be fair. So I'm pleased that the game's come out to some reasonable Seb reception. I mean, we're talking a triple A here, not a triple I. So
I think
it's
it's an
pretty
8 out of
glowing
10
praise.
experience. Yeah, it's an 8 out
Wow.
of 10 experience
No, 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 no,
for a
no,
lot of people.
no. It can't
Yeah.
outscore Star Wars Outlaws on this show. I won't stand for it.
I haven't played enough of it to say it's a definitively better game than Star Wars Outlaws. You know, like I do think
You waltzed in here and slapped an 8 on it.
that's what I'm saying. But from what I play right now, I feel like it's an 8 out of 10 more so than anything else. But then I've only put like 5 to 10 hours into it, so I can't really say definitively this is like. But I know, like from what I've been hearing from other people, like in messages and chats like that, some people have beat this in like 20 hours,
I was going
18
to
hours.
say,
So
what's time to beat, say? It's 20 hours. I'll be honest, that to me, if you're just mainlining it, seems acceptable because let's face it, there'll be a myriad of side content and also a myriad of side content depending which way you choose as you go through the game. So there's multiple runs in there. So there's,
yeah, for sure.
I suppose, completionist is what, maybe 60 hours, and then on a double playthrough, maybe another 10.
Maybe I would probably say like 3 playthroughs, average each playthrough around that 15 to 20 hour mark. Maybe, yeah, maybe somewhere between 45 and 60 hours. But I would probably say like you don't necessarily need to do a completionist playthrough on this game either. So it's because I feel like no matter what you do, you know, at least like from my understanding so far, I feel like I know how this game is going to end, and I don't necessarily know if the way I'm playing is going to change anything.
Mm,
But I
that's a
mean,
shame.
I know I missed a lot of side quests though. So I'm like, that could change how I feel about a lot of the game as well. Because Obsidian, even though they've done a good job with a lot of their main quests, especially with like Fallout New Vegas, I know like I don't. I know a lot of people know more so and love and have fallen in love with those side quests more than the main quests, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
Interesting.
about you, George? What have you been playing?
Well, I hope you've brought a sick bag along to this confessional that we've got with us because I'm in a state of flux. So
Ooh.
for some reason, I decided to get the PSPs out, charge them up, and start
Oh.
playing through some games on there. I spent most of the time really watching Stranger Things and polishing my white PSP with a lint-free cloth. But within that, there's been an element of quite enjoying the old girl. I played a bit of
Would you say
Godfather.
you're a nostalgic gamer? Like nostalgia driven gamer?
Um, no,
Okay.
but I do like to be able to go and pull off, go to the shelf and pull down a classic. I do like to be able to do that, and I want to play it as it was intended to be played in that moment. So
Oh, gotcha.
I'm that kind of weirdo.
Okay.
But PS5 is very convenient. But every now and then, especially what with us moving between two and decorating here and doing that there and getting a box together here and moving that there, the PSP's been quite the distraction. You can play it anywhere. So there's been a myriad of games that I've enjoyed. Vice City Stories.
Okay.
It looks great on there. Great selection of tunes. Obviously, it's an obvious pick for going in your PSP ready travel bag. I've also been. I was enjoying The Godfather. I started playing that. I thought this looks great. This plays great. When's this tutorial bit going to end and let me get into the open world?
Hmm.
It doesn't seem to be letting me get into the open world. What's going on? I quickly Google it. The PSP didn't get the open world. It just got all the missions stitched together.
Oh, that's the rough that's part of the rough era of like, oh, this is the PSP. This is the portable version of this
You got it.
this game. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I've been playing. I've played it countless times on there, but I've been going through on Ghost of Sparta. Fun, bit of Gran Turismo as well. A little bit of is it Jack and Daxter? I think it is. That's relatively fun. It's like a set between Jack and Daxter 1 and 2, I think, from the clothes that they're wearing and how they're looking and how the levels seem. So that's also been quite an enjoyable little distraction. And I've also pulled down off the shelf Ace Combat X,
Oh, the
which,
fighter pilot game, right?
yeah, which I'm quite intrigued just to bundle in and have a little play on. As I say, it's just a little sort of something to fiddle with while we're watching a bit of telly while we're in this sort of in between stage, to be fair. But yeah, it's been quite enjoyable. It kind of piques my curiosity to not mod it. Don't get me wrong. Last time you accuse me of like being one step away from a PC gamer because I put an SSD in a PS3.
Hey, I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, you know.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say if the cat fits, wear it. Well, I was
Yeah.
thinking about, I've been looking at, I think 64 gigabytes might be the maximum storage you can have in a PSP, just stock. So I've also been, and for no
Think about
reason,
modding that bad boy.
no, just going on and buying a genuine Sony Magic Gate 64 gigabyte card to put in it, and
No.
then I was sat thinking, well, I could put. Now you're talking to a guy who's got an iPhone in his pocket where you can just get every song you've ever wanted within seconds, you know. And you're now talking to a guy who's thinking, well, I could put some music on there and use it as a little music player.
Oh
I
no.
wonder if those movies that I've got in my iTunes folder, whether they would go on there. Oh, that would also be cool to be able to have a little library. And I'm thinking, like, why,
Well,
why are you doing this, George? You don't need to be. You've got every media you've ever wanted at your fingertips, yet you're thinking about using only stock parts to get the very best out of your PSP. There's
no.
something fundamentally wrong with me as a person, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, that is Sony to that is like I am a Sony guy to the T at that point, you know what I mean?
I don't even
That is
know.
like
I think it's more about trying to have the most genuine of the time
experience.
experience that you can have. Yeah. What was the best experience you could ever get? Or tell a lie. On one of the PSP memory cards I found kicking around, it had like some.
No.
Yeah, yes, mate. It had some Family Guy episodes, and I can't remember what film, but I saw it and I was like, I think Matrix was on there like a rip and something else, and it was so much another 2000s movie like Sahara or whatever with Matthew McConaughey. I was like, this very card alone is, well, it's something quite special in it. It's almost like the future.
What's up the future?
It's almost like the past and the future all at the same time. I'm experiencing this dude's. I kind of half expected to find some semi-soft erotica on there, if I'm honest with you. But wow, Seb brings his own love band with him. Uh, wow.
Okay, as you were saying.
I don't think I can think again now. Yeah,
I'm
there was
sorry.
no soft erotica on there, so yeah. Anyway, these relics of the past that come forward, it's a little bit like finding memory cards and looking at the saves on there, and then actually finding if you've got that game and loading it up just to see what this little human being had been up to in this window of time. And yeah, some of the stuff you find is absolutely crazy. So maybe, yeah, please message into the Discord with your best memory card or save finds that you found of other people's, or if you've got a confession of your own about a save game you forgot you'd made. I want to see all about that in the Discord. I love hearing about these things. In one of the PSP boxes, thinking along those same lines, I did find just like a scrap of paper, with like some kids' stupid notes on there.
I know you're Mr. Anti PC right now. You
Yeah.
know, you're bucking even though you're a PC you're a budding PC gamer. Like,
I'm a PC guy, but I just don't know it yet. I think you're
yeah.
right. I've been thinking this for a while, but just haven't really wanted to find myself staring at the TV in the lounge playing a city builder for 400 hours. I just feel it would fuel that jet rather than sort of leave it bolted on the ground, which I think would be for the better of my family, if nothing else.
I think once you play No Man's Sky with mods and all that kind of stuff, it's like your world is going to shift. But like especially you being who you are, where you can like get so deep into a game, not like RGT Harvestella deep, but you get what I mean. But
Yeah.
like I think like once that hits, it's game over. But I bring up the PC thing to say, there are like things you can buy online, like small little handheld PCs now, or like retro devices, retro pockets that have all this stuff that gives you the ultimate PC like PSP experience without you having to go stock on everything. Is why I bring this up. Like you can buy like for $89 now, you can have a whole library.
Yeah, that's cool. But will it ever, let's just say I pop into a coffee shop in my local town. Not that I do this, but let's just imagine for a moment I did. I'm sat there, and the guy on the other table, he pulls out one of these retro pockets and he starts playing Gods of War, Chains of Sparta, whatever it is. And I look over and I'm like, oh, hey up, pal, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm just playing a bit PSP. I reach into my pocket and I pull out a mint glacier white PSP stock running that game. Who's the cooler dude?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ever wondered what a rhythm-based stealth game with dinosaurs might look like? Or a farming sim in space with zombies? Welcome to the Gaming Blender podcast. I'm Matt, and with my co-host Scott, we take a random game genre and random game mechanics, blend them all up, and pitch wild, totally hypothetical games you've never heard of, and maybe shouldn't. New episodes every other week. Hit play and unleash your inner game dev. No coding required. Search the Gaming Blender on your favorite podcast app now.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you would probably have the looks department down, but then he would probably have an OLED screen with a device that could charge with a modern day like control cable.
Well. I'm not into modding, but I found an adapter that goes from PSP in, baby, to USB-C. I am 2025 compatible without even, and I did buy that, and I bought one for RGT as well.
At that point, you're like close to buying the new hardware.
No, because I got £2.99 dongle. I don't think so, Sebastian.
You're a down payment away from buying the new retro console at that point. But I digress. The reason why I say this is because you like taking a trip down memory lane. But there's like so many of these cool devices now to where like a retro pocket. Have you seen like the DS versions now to where like it has the 3DS type of like build to it, and
you can play it pretty much.
Yeah, with the two screens and everything. And so I'm like, you can make it to where you can order it to where it's the 3DS model or the regular model. And then the regular model, you can have to the regular screens or the OLED screens. It charges USB-Cs, and then like with your memory card, whatever memory card you have, you can also go all the way up to the Switch 1 library with everything. And I'm like, that's crazy to me.
These are ROMs, aren't they? These are illegal copies.
Some of them are, but it's not illegal if you actually own the game.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And you actually own
I don't think Nintendo would agree. They want to see you walking down the street with a Virtual Boy. They want to see you.
Allegedly, it's not illegal, but you get what I mean though. You get what I mean. But not like the reason why I say this is because in your hypothetical coffee, you actually being in a coffee shop situation with you would be able to have everything on the go. And in the traditionalist sense, like I think you would love this because like it's all on your screen in the UI presentation that is so traditionalist heavy of like, oh, I have like all these pretty it's only separated by the console, so to speak, that you want to choose. So you go to your console, Sega Genesis, and click on Sega Genesis. All your Sega Genesis games, you just scroll down, pick whichever one you want to play, and it just launches like that.
I'll tell you the danger for someone like me with that, Seb, and I'll tell you what it is I'm going to take my retro pocket to the coffee shop. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to go through every console. I'm going to scroll through. Oh, yeah, I fancy
Choice paralysis?
Yeah, I'm going to be like that. Oh, I fancy a bit of Mega Drive. I'm going to here, get my coffee, feel a bit retro. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I get in there, I think, no, I'm not feeling that. I'll go Dreamcast. And I go through the games. I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, what's on N64? And before you know it, my coffee's cold, and the guy next to me's finished God of War Chains of Sparta on his PSP and walked out the door, and everyone's gone like, wow, what a stud.
He has the Chains of War PSP.
Yeah,
he has it too.
He's double switched me. Yeah, he's walked out with the real deal. Yeah.
So another question I have for you in this hypothetical situation. Well, this one's not even hypothetical. It's an actual legitimate question. Why'd you jump on the PSP when you just bought a Switch 2? Has the Switch 2 gotten that stale already for you?
No, not at all. I did think this today when I packed my bag. I was like, oh, what am I going to lob in here? I'll put the Portal in. I'll put the PSP in. And I looked at the Switch and I thought, and I don't know why, I thought, no, I want to play. And probably should have left the Portal out because I'll be honest with you, the only thing that's getting turned on tonight is the PSP.
Oh, I thought that was going dirty.
Running dirty.
I thought I was about to go dirty on me. But
no. Let's awaken this Seb. I want to know more about Dirty Seb. That's a T-shirt.
That is Dirty Seb 2K25. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah.
Oh wow. So we talked off air, didn't we? The news is very, very light. It's scant. There's a bit of Animal Crossing news. There was some more rumbles about what the next Xbox is going to look like. I mean, I've never known a console talked about so much, and we're still quite a way away, guys. Talking about trying to get the hype train leaving early.
Let's run through the news because I have George censored questions I want to ask you for this episode.
Oh wow! What, you want to do the news? Oh, what is that light touch not enough?
Yeah, just light touch it.
Well, there you go.
I think we got magic coming.
Animal Crossing's got an update for the Switch 2 and a 3.0 update, adding some extra features and all that sort of stuff. Over on the PlayStation world, the drive towards the Heretic Prophet begins areal because they're starting to recruit localizers and testers, which sounds positive. Over on Xbox side of the fence, we've got them further talking about the shape and scale and heft of, again, further of what they want the new Xbox to be. They refer to it again being basically both a console and a PC, more referring to that PC in a box that we've heard about. And wanting to be everywhere on everything again, reiterating their further dedication to cloud gaming, which was really just to mirror off some of the points we discussed last week. But we realised that it was very news-like. And before the show started, I don't quite know how, but we stumbled into, and this conversation we have now, I must say, Seb, will only ever be a tribute to the highs and lofty, almost academia-like discussion we had about gaming subscription services. And I'll kick it back to you, Seb. Maybe give us a bit of a roundup on where we got to, because I think I was bearing down on the Games Pass experiment has failed. I think we talked about pricing. I think I touched on Ninty being a great deal, but also at the same time, how flipping dare you, Ninty, not you, Sir Triple S, and PlayStation almost getting dog walked into having to offer up their own service, which I would say has been about as popular outside of Portal users, about as popular as maybe a free helping of syphilis. If I'm honest.
Most people are just paying for it online, if we're being honest.
Yeah, they
at
are.
That point, you know, like, so it's interesting because, like, we offline we brought up that George talked about, like, you know, Xbox Game Pass being a failure, and I said I think it is a failure, but I think, like, we were talking about the logistics on why we think it failed, or why I think, like, it was implemented in the first place. And what my argument, our George's argument is that it was a cursed thing from the jump, and my thought process has always been like Xbox Game Pass to me has never been about just the nature of making a profit for profit's sake. It's more about they were getting dog walked, absolutely trampled from the last generation after the 360 all the way till today. And this was about them changing the game up, getting goodwill. And this was also in the business sense to where like you do business decisions that necessarily lose money, but you do it for goodwill, and that goodwill can harbor you into better financial decisions going forward. Which initially I thought that was fine because the first party lineup was so light anyways, they wasn't really missing a whole lot. You know what I mean? It's like you put out a Halo, a Forza, a Gears of War, and you do that on clockwork, and then you put out a whole bunch of other first party games that nobody wanted to play. Just looking at you, Redfall. Nobody wanted to play that. So I'm like, you really weren't missing a whole lot. You put out like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Really good game for what it is. It's a simulator though. It's a very niche audience of people play simulators, and then a niche audience. Yeah, and a niche audience wants to play the flight version of a sim.
VR support.
You get what I mean?
Pre-ordered.
Yeah. But you're a simulator person for sure.
Mate, let me tell you, I'm going to get some value out that headset this gen. On my life, I'd be damned, I will.
So you get what I mean, though. So it's like, it is one of those things to where I'm like, you're coming out with niche games, and you're coming out with niche games, or your big games are games that people loosely play. So I'm like, Halo. You know, you had two attempts at Halo, where you had Halo Infinite and you had Halo 4, and the Halo the Master Chief Collection. So 3 during that time period, and we know how all that went. They all came and went like a fart in the wind. And not only that, you damaged the brand of your biggest first party portfolio game. You know, like that's how bad that little experiment went. Forza, its trajectory rose, but then it's also a racing game. So I'm like, for everything that it's done, it's reached the highs of the highs. It won IGM's Game of the Year with Forza Horizon 5, but it's still Forza. You know what I mean? It has a cap. So I'm like, Gears of War. They kept putting out they put out Gears of War 1 again, and then Gears of War 4 and 5. You know, they did what they did. They didn't take the world by storm at all. So I'm like, you didn't lose a whole lot putting first-party games out there. The first-party games that people wanted to play in the portfolio were the games that you already had cross-platform for the most part anyways, Minecraft, you know? So I'm like, Microsoft, like, Game Pass, or Xbox Game Pass, goodwill thing going into it. And then, so I'm like, to me, I think, like, what really made Microsoft, and I'm talking about like actual, like the big daddy Microsoft's eyes on, oh, this is actually losing money, is then like, oh, we're now investing more into the portfolio that Game Pass actually is, with like the mergers of the ABK acquisitions, and then, you know, like the Call of Duty merger as well. So I'm like, the Activision Blizzard merger, and then the Bethesda merger, and I'm like, those to me were like, you were creeping under the radar. You were doing good. You were losing money, but still you were getting goodwill for the next generation. I thought that was okay business decision. Then you bought Activision Blizzard and you bought Bethesda. 2 companies you probably shouldn't have bought in the first place. If you had an acquisition, you probably should have bought WB, but I digress. We got here.
That would have locked down some really great exclusives for them. Imagine if Hogwarts Legacy had been exclusive.
Thank you. So I'm like, to me, I've always said,
and I hate to say it, mate, but the biggest game in the last 3 years has to be that game. It's an absolute behemoth.
It is.
In terms of sales numbers and traction.
Yes. And then on top of that, you would have had under the portfolio, like, just go with me here. Like, imagine what Game Pass would have been like if instead of they bought ABK, which I think, like, you know, it's Call of Duty. It's the most successful game in the world. I get that. But, like, on top of that, didn't really deliver a whole lot much else as far as, like, that really just set the world on fire. Then, except, you know, Diablo, but I think Diablo has a certain cap, and it's also I think Diablo as an IP past its prime. I digress. So on the other side of the fence, Warner Brothers, you bought Warner Brothers, you would have bought Hogwarts Legacy would have the studio and the game that would have been Hogwarts Legacy. On top of that, you would have bought the Arkham franchise and series.
Exactly. So then
with
all of a
that.
sudden you've got a counter to Spider-Man, Wolverine, that sort of jazz.
Exactly. You have and you have the biggest counter you can ever have.
Yeah.
You have the biggest counter.
It de facto then becomes the home of DC, the way Sony never could become the home of Marvel.
Exactly. So there's that, and then on the other on the other side of the fence, like PlayStation has been the home of fighting games. You would have one of the biggest IPs in fighting games under your portfolio with Mortal Kombat, because you would own Mortal Kombat as well, and you would own, the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor studio, which means you own the Nemesis system. And the Nemesis system, you could have done anything with like that in your own portfolio.
There'd just be a lot of goodwill for someone breaking that out of its slumber, wouldn't there?
Exactly. So I'm saying, like, I think if you had two acquisitions of studios that you probably should have bought and such like that, Ubisoft was going through a dog walking of a hard time. You probably should have bought Ubi, and you probably should have bought WB Games. I digress. If you only had to buy one of those, buy WB Games.
Would WB Games as an entity, as a package in that way, actually come with all those licenses? That would have to be something we'd have to double check.
So they could come, like, they're selling right now. Like, WB is trying to sell to Paramount right now and trying to sell to anybody who would basically offer. Like, and usually in mergers like this, you can basically say, like, I want this, this, and this, and this, and then like a part of that merger might be like, oh, we own WB Games, which means we own these licenses, or at least we have like these licenses for 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I think that's what I would want to know about the bulk of what I'm getting here, because the Hogwarts Mortal Kombat, I think, will be locked down, but something like Hogwarts Legacy, that could shift somehow.
But
that license
even then, okay, so put it like this, George. Like, WB wouldn't have fought hard about Hogwarts Legacy because they didn't know what Hogwarts Legacy was. Like,
no, you're right.
They did not know what Hogwarts Legacy was going to become. They did not know what it was. And the reason I say this is because before that, how many good Harry Potter games have we done? Just good. None. Absolutely none that actually like set the world on fire.
Well,
like,
one thing I would say about Hogwarts Legacy is it's okay. But it's obviously,
I don't think it's great.
It's tapped into a zeitgeist that has just sold gangbusters, because it's basically a Harry Potter RPG simulator. And in the second game, that needs to be so much deeper.
Also on the other front, like, one of the things I think also made Hogwarts Legacy so, and Nintendo does this a lot, like they do this to a huge success as well. Like, one of the things I think like aided Hogwarts Legacy's success is that Harry Potter fans were starved, absolutely starved
100%.
for any type of Harry Potter content, much less Harry Potter games. I'm like, they were salivating for this type of game, and they were salivating for a Harry Potter IP game because there hadn't really been anyone since Deathly Hallows ended. And then on the other side, the ones that do come out have always been Lego-fied, either Lego games or like the games based on the movies, or even worse, the Quidditch games, and none of those have been like gangbusters, and they were salivating for something within the IP. So I'm like, so WB, going back to the initial point, WB wouldn't have fought hard for it. They wouldn't have fought hard for Harry Potter because they didn't think Harry Potter would have been anything, like anything like it was.
In this world, Call of Duty is still easily multi-platform, no question. It still exists as ABK.
Yeah.
Bethesda's still pumping out everything everywhere. Let's wonder how Starfield performed. Like, yeah, all right, critically it didn't do very well in your alternate universe, but it sold a hell of a lot of units because it was hyped to hell and it was on everything. at that point.
And even then, let's just say Starfield sold well. Bethesda wasn't doing too hot initially, and that was the reason why they were on the market in the first place. They were doing well enough to be okay, but they wouldn't necessarily set the world on fire. Like, they had a lot of misses with Wolfenstein, Fallout 76, all that kind of stuff. But
They
like,
did.
so even if they were going to be on the market, like, they were still coming to your platform anyways. Like,
Exactly.
all those were still coming to your platform, so you could have had your cake and eat it too. Like, whatever the Elder Scrolls would have been, it would have been on Xbox as well. So I'm like, none of that needed to happen. I'm like, you bought this. Let's just be real. They bought Bethesda because of the Todd Howard centric games. Nobody buys Bethesda thinking we're getting Wolfenstein. That's changing our whole little franchise.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we're getting Elder Scrolls because Elder Scrolls is the big boy, and then by proxy, Fallout. We're getting Fallout, and then they heard the rumors of what Starfield was. So I'm like, they saw what Starfield could be. I digress. So I'm like, in that sphere, do you think like the trajectory of Xbox and what Xbox Game Pass looks like would have been vastly different in our scenario?
I do actually, yeah, because I think the war chest that they expunged buying these studios could have bought exclusivity for 10, 15 years, which would have achieved the same aim anyway, but without anywhere near as much money.
And yes, and also with IPs that would have resonated with people on a deeper level,
Yeah,
and combated your
6 month exclusivity to Xbox on every Call of Duty game going forward. Boom. 6 months exclusivity on every single Bethesda game going forward. Boom. Don't matter what it is. That's what it is. Even, bam, 6 months exclusivity on every ABK game. Done. And actually, do you know what? You've still got a hell of a lot of money in your back pocket to go doing that same deal with WB. All of a sudden.
or even then. Imagine if you didn't do the ABK or Bethesda deal at all. Like, imagine if you just did that with WB games, to where like you own WB games and you come out with two new Batman games in the meantime. Like, two new Batman games that would have come out around the same time that Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 would have come out.
Ooh.
You have direct combatants to some of the biggest games your competitors are doing. And then, like, on that side of the fence, you could have done a Shadow of War game, and you would have had Hogwarts Legacy, one of the biggest games in the world, come out in that time frame as well, exclusively on your platform.
Oh, that would have sold an absolute metric ton of Xboxes. It really would have. Because once those images started leaking on YouTube of gameplay and people doing it on Twitch, oh my God. Because that drove that game as much as anything else.
It was very zeitgeist heavy.
Yeah. So that, it's a hot ticket. But I think I agree with you. I don't disagree with you fully. But to go back to the original point, I agree that some losses are worth it. And I think Games Pass in its original form wasn't a bad idea. For some reason, financially, they've hung a lot of their business cred on its performance, which is or is not more of an extreme example of where Xbox is in general. But they've hung their performance on that, or the industry has decided to measure their performance via that. And I think initially, a great USP at a great price point that made it very easy to say, why would you go buy that when you can buy this and pay? And the kind of chat in the sort of bazaars and around the games was, you're paying about $1 a month or $3 a month, and you're getting access to literally every game Xbox has ever had. It was a bit of a broad stretch, but that was the general consensus, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And that was an interest spike for sure. But it was also more of a reward for your long-term Xbox users simultaneously.
Yeah.
There was a lot of backwards compatibility support in there. And there's people, the most loyalist of people to the Xbox brand have been there since the original console, who went there probably out as a retaliation of the end of the Dreamcast, probably went there as a retaliation of maybe grown up with Ninty and found out that they just wanted a big boys console for a change. Xbox seemed like the perfect alternative.
And then you also had the popularity of Halo at that time too. That
Yeah,
took over the world.
and
It became the
and
first person shooter
you're
device.
absolutely right, and with no disrespect to the games either, because I was there day and date with the Xbox original. Halo
Yeah.
blew my mind. Project Gotham Racing was absolutely incredible, and an evolution, a spiritual successor to a Dreamcast game, Metropolis Street Racer as well. So it did have that, it did have that kind of almost legacy nod. If you remember, the Dreamcast did have the Microsoft logo on the front of it, almost as large as the Sega logo. So there was definitely some feeling that once the death of Sega had taken place, the natural place for those people to go was to the Xbox brand,
Yeah.
or obviously to PlayStation. So those people have come through. It's been a long journey. So I think Xbox have in some way rewarded the long-term supporter, but at the same token, literally kicked them clean in the balls as well, Seb, if I may be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
And they've had some fumbles along the way. The latter part of the 360 gen was a big fumble. Xbox One was a famous fumble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And to be fair to it, way ahead of its time in terms of wanting to be the one-stop shop box in your living room, which now all the consoles actually aspire to be, if you think about it, with the streaming app support and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It saw the future. It maybe didn't interpret it in the correct way, but one thing you've always got to say about Xbox is they're 30 years ahead of everybody else because of the way Microsoft is structured. But what they don't realize is that 30 years ahead is so far beyond anyone's sort of idea of what it could be that their implementation of it in the time is a bit woolly. I get it, but at the same token, bloody hell, boys.
Timing's everything.
Timing is everything, sadly. And to be fair, if that console or a modernized version of that had come out now with the ability to put your TV channels in the back of it, etc., I still think it would have been received like a dead fish, to be fair. But there you go.
A gaming console is nothing without games, though. Too. I'm like,
well, and back to that point, so Games Pass, it's a great USP. It offered up a really great talking point that literally started to turn heads of competitor owners, I would say. Certainly, hang on a minute. There was a lot, especially in that era as well, there's a lot more free cash around. So maybe being an owner of one or two consoles wasn't such a sin, if that makes sense. They're a bit more affordable. The Games Pass seems to have sort of... I don't know. It's brought around an idea that everything, I think we talked about before we came on air, the Netflixization of everything. And, it fits right within that wheelhouse of everything, everywhere, all at once.
Love that movie.
But, yeah, you're absolutely right. But
Everything. I was like, I love that movie.
Yeah. I didn't realise I'd said it. And that's great. But we also talked about me on the PSP clone with the decision paralysis, and it generates a bit of that. And I don't think we consume games anywhere like we consume TV shows and movies. We can watch a TV show and movie with our significant other. Yes, I game with my significant other, as do others.
Sure.
And, it makes sense, but not every game all of the time, every time. Some games require you to grind. Some games require you to do very repetitive things. Some games are, very sub-genre for the individual. Like you and I like city builders, but does someone want to watch me put 350 hours into a city? I very much doubt it.
I don't know. You got personality.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But I think that's a tall order even for my beloved wife, who's contractually obliged to like me in some way, shape or form. So I just don't quite get why that's it. It works, but it doesn't work. One thing it did do is it kind of forced the other parts of the industry to be pressured into and investigate the idea of doing their own version of it, which to some degrees or not degrees, I've said before, PSN has also been an absolute disaster in terms of its upper library support. it's akin to Games Pass. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Is it Ultimate? I don't even know or care. Nintendo Online, they keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very affordable. It's a good price, but again, as we talked about, you bloody want to be a good price, because I've bought all these games with hard cash on previous consoles that I can't get access to, and I'm not about
You've
to
already
turn,
bought those games 20 times.
I'm not about to turn my Wii on to play whatever. So
Yeah.
if that's dead money at $2.99 there, it bloody better be free here if you're charging me XYZ a month for it. I'm willing to work with you a little bit, Ninty, but come on. I want to see more games coming out quicker, and I want to see more of the catalogue I expect to see, like where's Donkey Kong 64? Still to this day. What are
Here's
you
my
doing?
thing is like when Nintendo, I think Nintendo it has a really cool model, but I think like execution is everything with these sort of things. Like,
Yeah.
one of the things I dislike about the Nintendo shop online is like they roll out all these games. Some of them, a lot of them, nobody wants to play to begin with because they're old as dirt, and even in their heyday, they had a very niche audience. But like the ones that I think people do want to play, like, and are legitimately older in their catalogs, they don't put out. Like I would love to see Switch One games that weren't necessarily the biggest games in the world. Like, let's say Arms. I think Arms would be perfect. Just throw it on that service at this point. It's like
That's a
it
good
is.
point, actually. They ought to get a
It's
little bit
9 years
more.
old at this point. Like throw it on there.
They could get a bit more free and easy with those games. I do agree. And there's some sort of relics of the Wii and Wii U that are kind of just left there. And you got to wonder now, are they ever going to bother? I think probably not. But it's an easy brownie point to put a Switch One, Wii U, Wii. I mean, with the Wii, it's going to be difficult because you're going to need the Joy-Cons. Heck, they can do it. Right, they can do it.
I mean, they do it already. I'm like, I think the Wii U, prime example, like Wii U, a lot of people are reminiscing and saying like that console had like actually a bomb portfolio, because like the Wii U, all those games got ported over to Switch.
We
eventually.
in the early days of the show, we did an episode. Might have been in a courtroom. You know what we're like, Seth,
Yeah.
where we actually put the Switch on trial as the murderer of the Wii U, and we used all the games as the exhibits. And it was true then. It's true now. It's even more true now. The Switch. Nintendo are lucky that the Wii U went under the radar so hard, because it made it look like they just had banger after banger after banger for the Switch. Unfortunately, if you'd been in the ecosystem and a loyal Wii U owner, you were playing a lot of games you'd already played, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd already played the wheels off Mario Kart. You were going to play it all over again. Depending on when you got your Switch, you'd already started your save on Zelda to start it all over again on the Switch One. As for the rest of the platform, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 1 and 2, put those on there. Like put like Arms. It doesn't necessarily have to be your biggest bangers after bangers, but like
No.
I know why they don't want to. It's because they want to have their cake and eat it too by re-releasing these things like
They're not
20 days.
re-releasing Arms, dude.
No, they probably not. But like Arms is a good example, because if you're not going to re-release it, throw it on there to begin with. But like,
Yeah, exactly.
also like on the Splatoon
I'd forgot about
side,
it, actually. It's one of OG Tom's favorite Switch games, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
But like, okay, so like Captain Toad, for instance, I don't think that has a super huge audience in 2025, and you released like that game probably like 4 years ago now. Like, okay, the game sold all of that it's going to sell at this point. Throw it on there. You know what I mean? Like,
I
maybe
personally think they could do. They could definitely get away with charging an extra £5 to £10 a year. Right, hear me out,
sure.
And give you a Switch game a month. Either do a deal with a third party or a AA, AAA, whatever it is, and or have some of your own content like Arms. Boom, Next week it's the Assassin's Creed double pack, 4 and Rogue or whatever it is. The month after it's something else. It'd be easy.
Or even if you wanted this to be a pure goodwill thing, do it on your own portfolio, like your own portfolio, like some of your old games that, because Nintendo pushes out a lot of games. Like I give them credit for that,
But
they
they've
push out
already got a
more.
lot of those deep in their online service, so they're already there.
Some of them are, but then I'm like, some of the OG Switch One games, like I think would have been perfect to just throw on there as a natural like buffer to that service, because I think that service is a little lacking in its first party portfolio. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield, for example, you're not like that sold all it's going to at this point. You don't necessarily have.
Yes, that's a solid point, actually. Imagine in March 2026 getting that.
Yeah, for sure. You get my
Or
meaning,
only
though?
getting
Like,
Sword.
yeah.
So then you might see a bump in sales on Shield.
Exactly. So I'm like, you can have your cake and eat it too. Is what I'm saying. It's like you can have goodwill nature like moments, but then you can also like do this for like goodwill equals like good financial stability in the long run as well. So I'm like, Nintendo doesn't need to do this, by the way, because Nintendo's selling like gangbusters by being like the penny pinching Scrooge McDuck companies that they are. But like,
They
it's
are, but I'll be honest with you, it's the hottest place to be right now.
yeah, for sure. Even though I think like PS5 outsold the Switch this past month, but
But Christmas is coming, mate. That's
yeah,
gonna
semantics.
Switch 2's gonna get the absolute wheels blown off it Christmas time. My goodness gracious me, that's gonna be the best selling thing at Christmas. That's gonna be Optimus Prime.
I have no doubt. But like,
Tracy
but
Island, baby.
I have no doubt. But no, like, so it's curious though. I think like, when we were talking about like this subscription services as a whole, what values they bring and such like that. Well, Xbox I think brought good value initially at the price point they're at, but at the price point they started at the beginning.
At the start,
yeah.
it was an absolute weapon. And over that time, they disassembled the weapon in front of everybody and laid its component parts out. And I do believe they kind of killed it itself.
Yeah, for sure. I think like, and here's some of the quid pro quo things of like, I think like both of us are right in the sense that I don't think Xbox Game Pass was a bad idea. I think Xbox management was the thing that killed it more than the idea itself, in the sense that I think like every step they made, and I feel like every step they've been making so far, I feel like the management part.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I honestly, if someone could have written a business plan to deconstruct the Xbox brand in terms of how its loyal supporters think about it and people might be attracted to the brand, you couldn't have written a business plan that could have done it in a better way.
Yeah,
see how do they? I don't know how they keep getting away with it. I mean, I'm sore and I'm on the periphery. If I was all deep in it and only had an Xbox, I'd be bruised right now. I'd be bruised.
It's one of those weird things to where I'm like, I feel so sorry for people who are just Xbox only centric.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They must feel so sore, mate. It's sore.
Rough because they're absolutely getting dog walked over there. But like, it's weird because like we mentioned PSN earlier. I don't think PSN is the greatest subscription either, even though they do give you
I'm going to say this now. Bar the 3 free games a month level, it's an absolute dog's breakfast. The only thing that continues to make me do it is that I bought it a long time ago on a deal, and then the portal came along, and it's kind of gave me a little window of use of
for sure.
Some of the games they let you play on the Play Where You Want library. If I didn't have the portal, or wasn't traveling with the portal, and I soon won't be, I see no reason whatsoever to continue with that absolute diabolical mess.
And I think it's also like for the gamers out there who also are constantly online, like I think you and I are we have a different gaming appetite to where I'm like, PS Plus doesn't quite have like the same reach on us that it does on a lot of people, because a lot of us are playing like single player specific games that we're not constantly online for. Like
Mm.
you and I aren't in the throes of Call of Duty all the time, or like
No.
just yeah. So I'm like, or
But
I
the
might dive
single
into
player
that.
games that PlayStation have got, I've completed 2 times over ages ago. And I've gone through and tried to find the odd hidden gem here and there.
Mhm.
There's none.
So
And,
I'm like,
and I mean that in a nice way. Like,
yeah.
I've had a good fill from the games that are on that system, and I can imagine why people would be attracted to it if they'd never played them before. Much like Xbox, if you've never had an Xbox, you turn up and you get Games Pass free with a console for 3 months. Well, why wouldn't you continue that payment? Why wouldn't you think this is the best thing ever? You would do. To new users, these things are absolutely essential sort of entry gateway drugs to the console. They're perfect for that. But if you've been in the ecosystem, they are they're almost repellent because it's just the same dirt you've already used.
It's one of the interesting things about like what we're saying about like the ecosystem of Xbox right now. It's like Xbox right now has been so they've gone from one end of the spectrum to another, to where like I would have argued to the death of me like last, I would say 14 months ago, that they were the most consumer friendly out of the big three major console
Yeah,
markets.
I remember it.
Yeah, because I was like, they were so heavily. Xbox Game Pass was a lot cheaper than what it is now. I think like the fact that you didn't have to rebuy your controllers over and over again. The fact that like the go anywhere parts of it, to where like a lot of the cloud integration stuff was absolutely dirt cheap free, and then like the fact that the portfolio of games from your old library just swoop carried over, and you didn't have to worry about anything like you
Yeah.
do with Nintendo and such like that. It was just banger after banger of goodwill decisions. It's just in that 14 months, it just went to the complete opposite though. Like
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass is way more expensive than it has any right to be for the value that it's offering. Um, the controller stuff is still there. The backwards compatibility stuff is still there, but your consoles are more expensive than they ever have any right to be. There are depreciating assets by nature, and now it's stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
You're making it harder to develop games for you because you have two skewed system franchise like setups between like the Series S and the Series X. You're making it harder for the dev kits to get out there, for indie devs and smaller dev teams to get their hands on it. So I'm like, everything about this is anti-consumer. But
Professed to be the home of the indies as well, Games Pass, mate.
yeah, I mean, Nintendo's kind of taken over a lot of that with
They
the
really
Nindies,
have, yeah.
with
They
the
really
Nindies.
have.
But yeah, it's crazy because I'm like, I think I'm a like I just this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you, by the way, because like where you're currently at in what your like appetite for the industry is, and you're like the way like you've been disenfranchised by a lot of things that have been going on, is where I've been at current. Is what kind of led me to playing a lot more on PC lately, and it's like it's seeing the conversations that we're having of like PC side of the fence. And this isn't me trying to convince you to go over for one of the things. This is me, but like this is more of a therapeutic.
Rise, Lord Vader,
No.
rise.
This is more of a therapeutic conversation of why
See the
coincidentally
PC. Take it. Strike it down.
the PC is like the precious, and I'm like Gollum. God, join us. But it's mine. But no, it's a weird thing to where like on PC everything has felt more. It's more a la carte in a way that it's the experience is what I want it to be. In a way like I feel like in a lot of ways PlayStation has forced my hand on what I want PlayStation to be, and they haven't delivered on a lot of that this generation, to where like they went so heavily into like games as a service that I that the first party lineup isn't quite as like scrumptious as I like my appetite with their portfolio of games to be. Like they, instead of all the like bombs that they did with Destiny, with Uncharted, with God of War now, with the new story that they were trying to make a God of War live service game. Like, why? Why would you do that? And then, with what was the big Concord and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, all those assets could have been given to me to make a Uncharted sequel, like a legit Uncharted sequel. I'm not even a Days Gone fan. I would have taken Days Gone too over a lot of these things.
Oh,
Like,
honestly, for all the good Concord did, if that money had just been frittered away on a Days Gone light sequel using the one engine set in exactly the same map, it would have done more numbers than Concord.
yes, exactly. So I'm like, just give me something. Give me something like, give me more of the appetite that I want from my video games. And then that's like, I want Sony to be like the big first party portfolio studio that put out like great
To be
single
fair,
player
mate,
games.
the way they wheel Deacon St. John around, even to this day, is actually getting on for a disgrace.
Man. And then like on the single player games that I did get, like you leaned heavily into the Souls games in a lot of the ways, and then you Kojima'd the hell out of it. And I'm like, I'm okay with Kojima. Like I only played 2 Kojima games in my life, so like I have very little like feedback into that. But then I'm like, I got Death Stranding, which I get people like Death Stranding, and then I got like Dark Souls, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have gotten like something else of that nature. But like, you get my point. PlayStation didn't deliver what I wanted personally in
I don't think they
PS5 lineup.
I don't think they've delivered what anybody wants in the PS5 lineup.
Which is, and I know I'm being hard on them because I do think like, I genuinely believe like there's been some bangers this like generation in PlayStation. Like I liked God of War Ragnarok. I like God of War. I like Spider-Man. I liked the Horizon games. Like I'm probably alone.
I'll be honest with you. There has been some good games, but
yeah,
what dampened them a little bit was their availability on other platforms. On PS4,
oh yeah,
as an
it didn't
example.
feel special.
No, it
Feel
didn't.
special.
And I think that robbed it of its. But I played the original Horizon on PS4 and loved it. And if I'd never seen it again until the sequel came out on PS5 and I got to play it exclusively on PS5, I would have thought that'd be a good thing. They had a massive installed user base. I kind of get why. And there was all the COVID goodwill drivel going on about, well, people can't upgrade. Oh, okay, then we'll just downgrade this game and make it available everywhere, shall we? And the matey over there who's just spent $500 on his brand new console, probably scratching his head and wondering if he should have kept his Pro.
You want your console that you upgraded for to feel special. You want to validate your purchase. Like
as far into the lifespan as Gran Turismo and Horizon were, you absolutely do.
Yeah, and exclusivity for all the people who say like, oh, exclusivity is a bad thing. We want everyone to play all the games. Well, I'm like, exclusivity is what kind of makes the world go round. Like a lot of people buy tickets to concerts. They want to be as close as possible. It's not first come, first serve. You buy cars, luxury cars at that, because you like the exclusivity features that car has to offer. You buy
exactly.
You go to the airport and you buy and you go to your exclusive lounges and such like that. So I'm like, when you buy premium items in video games right now, and video game consoles have always been a more premium item.
Yes.
Then you want your item that you bought to feel premium, and exclusivity with the games comes with that territory.
Yeah. I think aesthetically with the PS5, you get that feeling. I think when the console launched, and we get off the Games Pass subject here, but I think it's all relevant. It's all relevant. When PS5 launched, the UI was new and it felt fresh. Xbox carried their UI over. Admittedly, it's a good UI, but it felt old, obviously, for that reason. PS5 UI now, it's a clumsy old girl, isn't it?
but it's still exclusive to your PS5.
It's
and that
exclusive
feels
to your
good.
PS5. So that's part that at the time, especially, that's something that they nailed. I think when the PS5 launched, I think that they did their best to give us some premium experiences. I think Astrobot being included on the console was a premium move, and I think it was.
Yeah, for sure.
It launched. I was already a fan of Astrobot, but I really feel like it kickstarted his career, where Deacon St. John got dropped. Astrobot got picked up, didn't he? And you know that's the way the cookie crumbles for your mascots.
Yeah.
And I think maybe when Ratchet and Clank came out, that kind of felt premium as well. It was within the launch window. It was exclusive. It did look sexy as hell, but it was Ratchet and Clank. After
I
that,
knew what you were getting at that point.
Yeah.
But we bring all this to say is like, I brought up exclusivities and all that, and like the PlayStation markup and PlayStation things to say like, like the reason why why I'm leaning closer and closer and being PC guy and bringing this back to the subscription model. There is no PC subscriptions as far as like what
well,
you're
to
getting.
summarize that, let's just say that they're kind of this far into their console lifespan, looking at PlayStation, Xbox exclusively. Their report cards are not great. They're just getting by. Xbox is on special measures, and PlayStation isn't far off in terms of sort of goodwill, I would say. That leaves Ninty kind of looking fresh, but they're just doing their own thing and rowing their own boat. And there you go.
So it's one of those things to where I'm like, I think what's interesting about this whole conversation, though, is like with PC, and the reason why I was just like, you do have subscriptions available for PC, but they're also like add-ons to anything that you want. You don't pay for online in PC games. It just comes natural.
Well, to stick it back on the report card, I hate to say it, but PC and the Steam Deck allies, there's a term for you.
Yeah, for sure. The allies?
Steam Deck
like
allies.
World War. Yeah.
They are getting a favourable report card at the moment. And to be fair, they're performing on every metric. There is still, and I get what you're saying, what you said earlier about the little PC in the pocket being very affordable. You need something a hell of a lot more powerful than that to get these games running these days. So you're going to need a Steam Deck, a ROG Alloy, whatever the fuck else. Yeah, we swear now. Whatever the hell else. Whatever the hell else that they make.
Yeah, for sure.
There is still a barrier to entry that's what I would say, what to people would feel a bit of a leap of faith. In terms of, we called them nostalgias before. I called myself an antique off air, maybe on air. I don't know at this point. That's
There's
still
a traditionalist mindset that goes with PC. Just any PC gaming.
Well, you're taking a leap, but at the same token, it's kind of a price that's kind of prohibitive from letting you take that sort of ballsy leap. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like I think one of the things I think Steam has done really well is like, as every other console manufacturer has been like raising prices, they've been lowering the price of their base model and then also going deep sales. So like it makes those to where like I know over here you can find like a Steam Deck for around that 210 to 250 marker.
Really?
And this is like, yeah. So I think like that's, to me, I think that's a lot less scary, but I think $250. But to jump into the PC ecosystem, I think
but wait, what's the Lord Vader Steam Deck? How much does that cost?
I think the highest end Steam Deck would be like $550, if my memory serves me correctly. But it's always on sale for like $110 off, so that's around that $440, $430 marker.
Who sent you here? The devil or someone else?
No, but like we were mentioning subscription services with PCs and such like that. To bring that back to that point, it's like,
you are a very naughty boy.
So if you wanted to say like I want the Steam Deck, but I feel like it is old and archaic, there is GeoForce Now. One of the best things I think is like, one of the best things about GeoForce Now is like, GeoForce Now, you can get the free version, and the free version allows you to play any games that you already own on PC. Which, by the way, dirt cheap games. So I'm like, and they also give games out for free. So I'm like, on that side of the fence, any games that you verified already own, you can like stream it to the GeoForce Now server, and you can play that on the free version. I think it's like the 1080 version of that game, and you can play for like 2 hours and go about your business. Which for a lot of adults, 2 hour session, really good session, like,
Yeah.
But then like on the paid versions of that plan, you can play the ultra version of Cyberpunk, for instance. Play Cyberpunk on ultra on your Steam Deck, on your TV, and it is like playing on a higher end PC. You get what I mean?
Is it streamed though? Just for clarification.
That one would be streamed because you're streaming it from their servers. But like this, if you have good internet,
and I live in like
absurdly
Bumble,
good.
I live in Bumble Hicks, Hell's Nowhere, so I can't imagine.
Not good for you.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing basically.
But you have a
Cyberpunk
portal,
Lego.
right?
Yeah, but there's some witchcraft going on there. It's in the house or it's 1 mile away. I'm not, and when I do the library of those games, I'm normally at Rachel's. She's got super fast internet. It's not that far away, but my internet is garbage.
But at that point, you have access to super fast internet. But here's what I'm saying: is like, if you were to try this out, I think like your mind would be blown that you're playing. Like, I think, what's a George game that you would play that would be more of the high end market? Because Anno, I feel like, can run on a base PS5 and look great.
Flight Simulator.
Flight Sim looks great on GeoForce Now. Yeah, but I think Flight Simulator.
Farming Simulator.
Oh, that would mow Farming Simulator down because I think Farming Sim, it would look great. It would just be 4K high res, all the little boosts and upgrades plus the mods. But I was trying to think of something that would actually be like a showstopper, though. Star Wars Outlaws, for instance, like you play that on PS5, right?
Yeah, on the Pro.
So you pay that on PS5 Pro. That's already 4K 60. But I think like it's hard to quantify to your eyes how big that jump would be to playing on PC Ultra versus playing on PS5 Pro.
Oh, I see. The thing is, I want a native experience. I don't want to rely on streaming. I know your point with the Portal, but it's different to me. That's like a little bit of a bonus.
A little bit of a bonus.
A little bit of a Brucey bonus, yeah. If I went PC, I'd want it native, so I'd have to get the full singing or dancing Steam Deck, like the absolute beast, the Lord Vader, and then have a dock. And then I
bring that up for the
would I
listeners
need? Oh God, I'm sat there. Thing is, though, right? And I know you're going to say, "Oh no, it's not like that. It's going to be like this."
Okay.
If I get access to a Steam Deck,
okay,
I'm more than likely going to use it to revisit PC games from the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm going to end up with a Bluetooth keyboard on my lap.
You don't have to.
No, this is what will happen.
Okay, gotcha.
And a mouse on the right hand side on the couch, screwing around, doing whatever it is you do with a mouse. It's not a good look.
Whatever it is you do with a mouse.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
You know you have a mouse natively built into that thing, right?
No, it's docked.
Okay. I want
the big screen, baby.
Okay, so I'm like, I have a dock for my Steam Deck as well.
I am not willing for my PC experience to be a cupboard under the stairs. I don't want that for me.
You don't want to be Harry Potter?
No, I don't want to be a Harry Potter PC gamer, kind of shoved up against a metal grid with a couple of controllers hanging off of it while I'm smashed up against a 19-inch monitor with a PC blaring beneath my legs, making my genitals warm. I don't want that. I want to sit on the couch. I want no, I don't. I want to be cold. I want to be a little bit shivery.
Okay, gotcha.
I want the big screen experience. I want the fire on. I want the surround sound.
Okay.
That's what I want, and I don't think PC gaming can give me that.
I think you're wrong. So because a lot of people are playing PC gaming like that, like the towers aren't necessarily like the big towers that you think of anymore. A lot of them are small, nimble. Throw them behind the TV and forget about them. It's devices now, and then like on the other side of the fence, like a lot of PC has controller capabilities with every controller now. Like if it's a Bluetooth enabled controller, it has it. So I'm like, you can play on your PS5, your Xbox, your Switch Pro, whatever you feel like playing. And then it's like your library of games, and besides the quote unquote Switch exclusive games, it's just there. Like everything you can think of. And then you're playing a console experience just on your PC. The only difference is it's like it's like the Switch UI is a little different. But once you get over that, you're fine. It's the same. It's like your mind whenever you go from like the Xbox UI to like the PS5 UI.
So basically, you've used this episode to convince me to finish now and go buy a Steam Deck OLED.
I think if you buy Steam Deck OLED, I think your expectations should be like, I think I need to know what games you're playing before I tell you go buy a Steam Deck OLED. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what games I'm playing, and I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing anything though. What am I missing?
For you, that's what I'm saying.
It's the little mousy mouse games, isn't it? It's the games like Anno, and it's the games like that I miss out on probably on PC. There's probably loads of little city builders. There's probably loads of little big workshops. There's probably loads of like little things like. Get onto them, by the way. I want a sequel to Little Big Workshop. And
I think for you,
I want it now.
I think for you, what you would be missing or what you'd be experiencing is like, I think like a lot of the hot games that are the ones that you like in your wheelhouse. I think you'd be able to play them early. Get to play them. Yeah, when they actually come out. Versus...
When we used to get Stingray come up the drive and we used to go through the games in the boot. Quite often there'd be some PC games there that were hot tickets to me that maybe eventually came to PS5 or PS4 or whatever it was. At the time they got there, the candle had burned well out on them.
Because for you, like right now, like you have access to Hades 2 because you have a Switch 2. But if you weren't a Switch 2 gamer, like Hades 2 would only be accessible to you like through PC right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like the great game that we talked about, Dispatch. It's only exclusive right now to PS5. It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, temporarily. But it's also PC exclusive because it comes day and date on PC.
Oh, hang on a minute. No, I'm confused. You're confusing me.
What's up?
So if I want Dispatch to stay where I am?
Yeah, for sure. Oh. But that's not the case. But the through line there is like Hades 2, limited time console exclusive to Switch 2. Dispatch, limited time console exclusive to PlayStation 5. The through line, both of those games are on PC, and like both of those games day and date on PC. Half-Life Alyx, I think, is a game you'd probably really enjoy, the Half-Life series and such like that.
But then I need a VR I could use my PSVR.
You have a VR. You have a VR.
I've got to buy the adapter from Sony.
You get some use out of your VR. But then you have like games like your simulator games. Like a lot of those simulator games, day one PCs, like movie theater simulator.
I need that
RV.
game.
The RV simulator that people are talking about. Like
that looks good.
It is so fun, and I'm not, me, I'm more of a single player gamer, but like it is so fun. And it's absolutely blowing up the world for some odd reason. Like it's just the indie that just like
some of these indies are very streamable, but not that great.
Oh, for sure.
But not that great to play. They allow someone to be able to play a character, and I think those games stream incredibly well.
That's why they call it role playing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm like, you get to play all these role playing experiences, especially on simulators like that. A simulator is nothing but a role playing experience. So I'm like, you get to have these really cool role playing experiences, and then have your cake and eat it too by playing some of the bigger boys or bigger girls out there that you want to actually like dive into, like Expedition 33. But then
but then I'm walled off from the Sony exclusives.
No, man, you're not. You got
I've got to wait. No, I have to wait though.
But you have a PlayStation 5. You're not walled off. You just play those whenever you want.
Oh, right. So I keep everything else, and I find more room behind my TV for another console.
You already did that with the PlayStation VR 2 and a Switch 2. You didn't get rid of your OG Switch.
Yeah, but I might have to get rid of one of those to get a Steam Deck in there or a gaming PC.
It's a handheld. You just buy
It's not just a handheld though, is it? It's one of the most obnoxious looking bricks you've ever seen in your life.
It's nice. It is nice. But then for you,
dude, it's aesthetically, it's more an Atari Lynx than anything else.
Man, I get that. But for you, it's on the VR front, you asked about the PlayStation.
Could I plug my VR into the Steam Deck?
Your VR into the Steam Deck? I've never tried. I don't know the answer to that one legitimately because I've never tried. I'll have to get back to you on the next time we record together.
That would need some C:\/ going on. There's no way I'm jamming the VR2 up the back end of the Steam Deck and it's going, oh, I'm okay with this. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. It's going to be searching for drivers. It's going to be off on the yin yang collecting this. It's going to tell me it's not compatible. It's going to be.
You'd be surprised how quickly Steam does a lot of the back work of the drivers and all that kind of stuff. You don't normally have to because plugging in a Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller is seamless, and then it reads a hard drive that you plug into the dock seamlessly. And because for me, I have a micro USB plugged into it. I have a hard SSD that I
talk me through your
setup
because I want this to be like the confessions of a Steam Deck user. I want to know what Steam Deck you got.
Hold on, really quick. Right, 1 second. Fielding time. It'll be 20 seconds.
Okay, I want to know what Steam Deck you've got. I want to know what it looks like. I want to know about the docking situation. I need to know about the visuals. Am I gonna notice a difference between a Steam Deck? So, okay, questions.
Okay,
is this the dock? So this is the dock.
Okay, this is one dock. Yeah.
Let me describe this. This looks like it's just like a small dock. It's about the same size as Biscuit's front paw. Is that genuine or is that some sort of third party Steam Deck?
This is a third party. The first party Steam Deck dock is a little bigger. I would say it's a little more Switch 1 but except without the front grill, I would say that you have to put the thing in, put the Switch in exactly right.
Yeah.
So this one is a little different. It comes with USB, two USB-Cs, 3.0 ports in the back. It comes with our USB 3.0 ports in the back, and then so you can charge up super quickly. It has USB 3s. It has about 3 of those, 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and then from there you can plug in your anything you really want, from your hard drives, your SSDs, you can plug in your let's say you had a adapter that is a SIM card, not SIM card, but SD card adapter. You can plug that into it. You just basically put the Steam Deck right here. It sits right there, and then if you wanted to plug in a wireless mouse and keyboard, it's right there as well. And it takes up you see how big it is. It takes up no room in front of your little setup.
So I plugged this in.
Okay.
To my TV.
Yeah.
This is your setup. You've got it plugged into you could I don't know if you do, but you could have it plugged into your TV.
Yeah.
You come in, you dock your Steam Deck in it, you pick up your Steam controller because I'm going to keep it on brand because that's the sort of cat I am. So I picked up my £80 Steam
This
controller.
is unofficial controller podcast, but he wants to keep it on brand. You get the irony there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a walking contradiction, to be fair. So then I've
Okay,
sat down with my
gotcha.
official Steam controller, and
Uh-huh.
I'm on there. I'm browsing through the menu. I wake up and suddenly decide I want to play. I don't know. Twinson's Little Big Adventure. Actually,
Okay.
that got remade, so that'll be easy to find.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
How far back in time does Steam go?
What's the name of the game? Twinson?
Yeah, that'll be on there because it got remade. But generally, how older games can you find on Steam where that you can play on the Steam Deck, no bother? Or are there only games
Oh.
that are specialized for the Steam Deck and they're the ones you get access to with the Steam Deck? Or without being too
Oh.
specialist? Or can you then therefore run kind of any PC game from any era on the Steam Deck?
The older the game, it's almost the better because it can run pretty much anything that's old as dirt. Because this is like anything that's
But
from
how would you get to running, say, a game an old game? How far back in time does Steam go? Is it just to 2000 or have they got games on there from the 1990s? Could I go on
history
there and
lesson on Steam.
play a 16-bit Mortal Kombat?
MK. Well, I know you can play MK because they have collections. But let's see. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, you can play the retro Mortal Kombat games. It looks like. And then for how do y'all say it? £3? Do
Yeah.
y'all say £3? Yeah. So like you can play the retro Mortal Kombat games. You can play Tetris. Um, I'm trying to find. I don't know how to put old ass games in into the little search because
Retro.
normally it starts retro. That's a good little marker. Pixel and retro. So they have retro. Yeah, they have tons of retro games you can do, but like you can also they do have a Steam verified list that is like this is the grade I'll give this game. So like a lot of the games, because a lot of the catalog will be playable on Steam, like on the Steam Deck, they give it like a grade. Like this will get a gold grade, which means like it's pretty great playable. The like but on the handheld experience, this like the text might be a little small for the device. It's still readable, a little small. So that gets a gold grade. They have a platinum grade that's above it, which means like the perfect experience you can possibly imagine is what pretty much platinum means. They have silver below that and so on and so forth. But like
Type in Last of Us Part 2 and tell me what grade that gets.
Last of Us Part 2. I don't think that did very well, and I don't think that port in general was very well by PlayStation on Steam, was it?
No, but what grade did Steam give it for compatibility?
It is verified with gold. The gold marker being the in-game interface text is legible on Steam Deck, but a bit small. So it's gold. But
Right.
it says like Steam Deck compatibility, all functionality is accessible. This game shows Steam Deck control icons. This game's default graphics configuration performs extremely well on Steam Deck. So gold.
Interesting.
So like let me
So
see.
what I've learned today is through a conversation about subscription services, you've managed to corner me in a room and
And you can get it for $21.
basically make me order a Steam Deck on Amazon now, or you kill me.
I don't want you to order it now. I just want you to be informed.
I thought you'd left the compound. I thought you'd left all this kind of like
The herd?
mental chicanery behind. I didn't realize you'd stepped up as one of Pastor's lieutenants.
Here's my thing though. It's like I don't want you to buy a Steam Deck because I pressured you. I want you to buy a Steam Deck if you feel like you want a just intro to PC gaming and that you feel like that you want to see what PC gaming is like in this day
I'll
and
be
age,
honest,
but you don't
Seb,
want to.
I'll be honest. A little bit like a bottom wiping experience gone wrong. I've been circling around the idea of a Steam Deck for quite some time.
Oh wow. Wow. Oh wow. Wow. So here's where we've gotten.
I
We've
have.
worn them down, people. We've worn them down.
I have been circling around the idea for some time. Now, when I got the Switch 2, I can't remember who put it to me. It might have been you. Why did you do that? Because you could have got Steam Deck for that money. And it's like, well, yeah, I could, but I want the Switch 2. Cartridge in
Yeah,
the
that's
top.
perfectly
I know
fine.
where
Yeah.
I'm at. I know I'll get my Ninja exclusives on there. I'm happy. And I love the Switch. It's so compact. It's almost cheeky how thin it is. And yeah, it's not Cyberpunk
This
on
is not that
Ultra.
thin. Yeah.
But it's good. And like I see the Steam Deck, and what I like about the Steam Deck, the thing that makes me circle back to it and keep sort of raising the thoughts about it or PC gaming in general, is the flexibility and the way that maybe technology has come forward enough where I don't need to be doing the C:\backslash. Now that interests me. That interests me. It does.
Which part interests you?
How the depth of the catalog is the starter.
Okay, gotcha.
The
Okay.
lack of the lack of restriction, but
Okay.
equally, I think that would come with a level of friction there. There would be some friction where I'm trying to get an old game working on a Steam Deck and I can't. And then it all gets very PC from 1996, if I'm honest with you. And that's the experience that scares me.
You're on a computer like every day, though. I think you're more computer savvy than you give yourself credit for.
If you could see how badly I wheeled round on Excel as an example, you would be shocked. I think actually, no. I think you'd be appalled.
Okay. So this to me is like, I think it's right along the side, like right along the lines of like, it's as friendly as you want it to be, and it can be as in depth as you want it to be. Like, if you want just a streamlined experience, the Steam Deck, like native Steam Deck, without you having to go into the thing, is like as friendly as you could want it.
Yeah, but you know, I'm going to try and get the space shuttle simulator for the Atari ST from like 1989, 1990 running on there. You know, I'm going to try that.
Then that's on you. Then if you want to actually do retro. Like, if you want to add your retro catalog to it, which is like really, that's on you. And it's like, if you have 2 hours, and this is why I say 2 hours, you can get every game possible from 1990. I would probably say 1985 to now, like to now being like now retro games going. And I think like you would just be in just slop heaven, like a pig, like a pig on slop, just eating all these retro games you can only imagine. Like, and I think like the UI is customizable in the way that I'm telling you, like in the way that you're probably going to go about it, like is so like customizable and is so like really cool, and it's so satisfying because you're like, oh, I customized this and I made this more like PS3 because I wanted the PS3 presentation, and I made like all this, but it's a PS3 presentation, but it's like the Switch games outlines on it, and it's like. I also wanted to bring in the description, so I did this, and I made this little extra step and brought in the descriptions. Oh, but I also want to see what its Metacritic score is like, so I brought in this data, and like 2 hours of little tinkering like that, and you get the like most perfect experience imaginable. But then like it's all on you, and it's legitimately all on you if you really want to do that. Because like if you don't want to do any of that, if all that sounds like, oh, I'm actually going into the because like it gives you the big Steam mode, which is the regular screen, which is I would probably say the most Switch like experience possible. It's just the regular overlay screen. You go into your game, you play your game, you go about your business. Then it gives you desktop mode. You go into desktop mode. That's where you can go into the back end and bring in. But then it's like a Linux computer, and it's like Linux Windows, to where you bring in your files and you can say like, oh, well, I downloaded allegedly the NES, Super Nintendo, like the Genesis library. I just want all these games, all 1,300 of these games on here. I brought those over. You bring those over, and then there's a little thing one launcher. You just basically say, "Hey, I brought this. I want this launcher to basically read all of my games on this SD card." And the launcher says, "Okay, I register all those games on the SD card. I'll go ahead and sort them for you. I'll go ahead and bring that up to where like I can tell you what platform those are. I can even tell you runtime and all that kind of stuff. And it just does everything for you. And your only thing is like I had to drag those games into a folder. Does that make sense?
Wow. That's possibly the most tempting thing
It is, but
you could have told me. In fact, that's the worst thing you could have told me about the Steam Deck, if I'm being honest with you.
that's like for you. That's why I asked the question whenever we like deviated from our other conversation to this. It's like, what games do you want to play? Because I'm like, if you want to play Retro Machine,
I think at that point,
this could be your retro box.
if and when I get a Steam Deck, it would literally just contain my whole library plus some of those sort of pyramid titles that I've never been able to afford.
Oh, gotcha.
So then I've got everything I've got and everything I ever wanted up until a point where I can just play it in one place, in one go. Oh, it feels dirty though, mate.
It is, but what I'm saying is like I
think my problem with that would be that it would cheapen the experience to where it'd be almost a bit too throwaway.
Oh, because you didn't work hard to grab the authentic experience.
Yeah, kind of.
I get that. I mean, but that's your mindset. You know, like for me, like I would probably say like I think it would be a great toy. It would be a great distraction. It would be a great tinkering box. It would be a great experimental machine. It would be a great little indie darling. It would be a great sort of, as you say, the sim games, the city builders. Yeah. If you know what you want from it, like it can deliver what you want. It's like, but I think for one, you have to have a idea mindset. So like of what you wanted to deliver. Like for you, there's a game called iRacing that I think would be perfect for you. It's a motorsport simulator.
I've heard a lot about this. Yeah.
So I'm like, motorsport is simulator. You can be it's very interactive. It's very hands on. It's very VR.
I could have my wheel involved. I could have my VR on.
Exactly. So I'm like, for you,
I think
the
Steam Deck though not going to be literally melting its plastic casing off doing all this? Don't they run hot doing? You know, I'm making it do.
Depends on what it is. Like you're playing iRacing, which is like a game that is still played by a lot of people that came out in 2015. It can run a 2015 game just like a Switch can run a 2015 game. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, it depends on what you're doing. If you're playing, I would say my Steam Deck can play Horizon Zero Dawn. It's not going to look like a PS5 Pro. It can run that thing for like 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it depends on what you want.
I think I'd want it for a myriad of things. I think I'd want it for sort of the tentpole PC games. I think I'd want it for definitely for
what is tentpole PC games for you?
Oh,
for you though,
like
that's
like
the question for
you. Me, if I could
PC
switch Farming Simulator to PC, I think that would be a big bonus to me. I think I'll get more functionality from the mods. You don't get them all on PlayStation. I think
the game also comes day and date too.
Yeah, of course it does. And maybe more functionality for the peripherals as well, which they're kind of nerdy, but it's kind of cool. I think that the more
is 25 the latest simulator, like farming simulator.
Yeah, the quicker access with actually better controls to city builders, i.e., a mouse.
Oh, that's so much fun though! Like playing like City Skylines 2. Like I'm not the mouse and keyboard was so hard for me to learn. It is really hard for me to like now go back and play City Skylines without that mouse like being exact to where I want it to be versus like the controller where I have to like zoom in and then press A and then like figure out, oh, like do I hold A to like do all that? It's so convenient. It really is.
City Skylines on a console will always be this battle between how you want it to look and a compromise on how the controller's working, where you just end up like, do you know what? That's just going to have to be good enough. There's been a few times where I've just cursed it and just wished for a mouse. Because your city ends up just with like dead end cul-de-sacs and things. You're like, oh God, why? And then as soon as they start moving in, you don't want to knock it back down again because you feel sorry for these non-people
on PC. On Farming Simulator, like evidently you can play that with the DualShock, the Xbox, the mouse and keyboard. I don't think it doesn't have Switch listed, the Switch controller listed, but it looks like everything else is here.
It'll work.
Yeah.
And then, as I said before, I would then use it to be the repository of everything else. And I mean everything else. And from there, I would sit down and probably end up with a hell of a lot of choice paralysis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as one does. But, like, the cool thing is like, you get so, like, your library feels like, for one, it feels like, to me, I appreciate my Steam library now more than I do my Xbox library because like Steam has, for the most part, been very consumer friendly as far as like that goes. And they also like Steam and GOG especially because they're like, I don't know if you've heard, but GOG has been trying to make sure that your license for your game, if you get the game in any capacity, you permanently have that game. Like it is yours, even though it's a digital good.
There's a lot to be said for that. That's one of the things I mean, this is a different conversation. We must wrap it up and give our subs a shout out and probably hit the road. But the transition to a digital world does leave lots of questions about ownership of product. It is only if you get real deep on the terms and conditions of these digital purchases, I do believe you'll find it is only really a lease.
Yeah,
the game's not yours to keep forever, and there's definitely no guarantee as consoles change and develop that it'll be compatible going forward. PC is probably about the only place where you can guarantee that some form of compatibility will exist. So to hear someone doubling down on that whole, no, you own this, don't quite know how the legality of that works out.
They're getting companies to agree with that and add it to their GOG terms of service as well. So I'm like, they said it's been an uphill battle with a lot of them. I guess
at that point, yeah, it might be an uphill battle with a lot of them. I can understand the friction, but it's really the same as if you'd sold at that point the physical copy. You never get to return that pleasure again. And worse than that, that physical copy is often traded 6 or 7 times, 10 times over in secondhand stores, GameStop, CX in the UK, etc., where they never get to see that return of the monies again on the secondhand purchase. So I think locking you down and saying, all right, that's your copy, you keep it forever, I don't think that's an unfair exchange to the world of the digital ecosystem. Yes, you can't trade it, but you do own it. That value is yours to keep until the end of forever. It'll be interesting to see how long GOG would actually support the download of that game through several different ecosystems, etc. Because at what point they can't make it available, are they then in sort of void of contract? It's interesting.
I'm not sure. It is a lot of legality, like based on like what's going on there. But like it is. Like I'm saying, I don't want people to think I think PC is perfect because I do think like again it comes with its own set of downfalls. I think in the landscape of where we're at currently with like the way people are kind of being more conscious about like what companies are doing versus and what they're also presenting as a value composition. I just think PC.
Yeah, I think the blind ambivalence loyalty of the 90s and early 2000s is very much in question now.
Yeah, it's a rough go right now. Whereas like I think like especially and also making the case is like everybody else is like trying to double dip and also go into the PC landscape. It's like watching you double dip and go into there as well. You know, like you can still have your cake and eat it too by being a
Dude,
console supporter.
if I did that, I would have quad dipped. I'd have had 4 fingers, 3 knuckles deep in that pie.
Yeah, because I'm like, for me,
that is not healthy.
The big selling point for me right now is like, I can support, I can have this game on my PS5, and I've been a PS5 and a PlayStation guy since day one, or I can have this game for almost 80% off, very close to launch, because it's on multiple storefronts, and I can, you know, as mods come, I can add those mods to it. I can still have some controller support, and I also have it right underneath my TV, so I don't have to feel like I'm stuck, like at my PC. It's just that part really made it feel less like a PC and more like a console anyway. So I'm like, it just felt natural for me to more so like feel like I think I'm leaning closer to getting this game on PC versus I'm getting it on my traditional console.
How does it feel to you now when you say, because you've got a PS5, right?
Yeah, I have a PS5, Xbox. I have everything but the Switch 2 at this point.
Okay. So maybe I should do a sales gimmick on you to get a Switch 2.
Good luck. Good luck.
When you switch to playing on PS5 versus Steam Deck, as a prime example, what are your takeaways from the PlayStation 5 experience? What do you sit down and go, oh, I'm glad that's here, or I'm glad I'm playing this on PlayStation because of this, or I really like that, or yeah, what are those moments for you?
I love the DualSense controller. It's my favorite controller in games right now. But George, I'm gonna be 100% real with you, like as honest as I possibly can be. I've only played my PS5 one time this year, and it's for Ghost of Yotei.
Wow.
And it's not because of like I dislike my PS5. It's just like the first party lineup has not been Sebastian friendly lately. So
I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's been core PlayStation gamer friendly for some time.
Yeah. So at that point, I had to ask myself like a genuine question of like, okay, what games do I want to play right now? And when I asked myself that question, it was like, I'm playing these little indie experiences. Oh, I can get that for $3 on $3, or I got a code for it. PC. Let me get that code for PC. It's right there. I can either play it with my Steam Deck or I can stream it from my like Steam Deck also allows you to stream from your PS5, from your PC, and your Xbox, by the way. So I'm like, okay, I can do that, get that experience there. And then when I go back to my PS5, I do think it feels like a grand experience, but the games that I'm playing are also catered to that grand experience. Like
where do you get where does the grand experience come from? The game, the UI, the feeling of the console?
It's the feeling of the DualSense I can play on PC, so that kind of negates that. But it's the game. It's like when I'm playing Ghost of Yotei, I'm playing a quote unquote Sony PlayStation, like what do they say, Sony brand experience, or Sony, what is it? So PlayStation Sony presents, what I'm talking about when you play a PlayStation first party game, and it's that, and you see all the like that nice PlayStation logo, and it has like all the characters in the logo, like it's a Marvel movie now.
It feels great. Like it does feel quite
it
good.
Does. It feels premium. Like it feels like it's a premium experience catered towards a premium console. Like, so that's why I'm like, the Spider-Man 2s of the world, the Horizons, the PlayStation, like the Ghosts of Yoteis and Ghosts of Tsushimas, the God of Wars. Like, I'm now PlayStation, and my PS5 has now become my exclusive box, and everything else is like, I'm still gonna play my exclusives there, but for everything else, I'm playing if it's third party, PC or Xbox, because like it's more convenient for me personally. It's like, and Switch, I don't play that thing at all. Like the first parties. And it's not me, and this is not me banging on the Switch.
Be kind to it.
Yeah, it's not for like
touch it gently. Touch it
Okay, I
gently.
will.
Stroke it.
Switch's first party lineup is not Sebastian centric in the sense that I for a lot of the games that I want to play, I am not a Mario person. I'm not a Zelda person, even though I tried to be. Like, and
Just sit down for a minute and prepare yourself for this.
yeah.
I've downloaded Madden on the Switch too.
Oh, 2026.
Yeah,
Oh, what'd you think?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh no!
That's probably what I should be playing tonight instead of Vice City Stories. But I'm such a sick weirdo. That's the sort of thing I'll do. Seb, let's draw a line under it because
Yeah, for sure. We've been going long.
Hey,
What do you hope to play, George?
No, 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 no. Get your Discord up, baby, because we've got a list of wonderful, awesome people to thank for supporting the show.
That is absolutely true.
I don't know which way this is going to go. I think I'm going to go first, which may end up with a Seb-directed Fat Zangief at the end. But first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that's listened. If
Sorry
you want
about the rambling episode, everybody.
No, I think this is great. This is a part 2 follow-up. There was no news, and we talked about a myriad of things that have bothered us, touching points, almost trigger points for both Seb and I in gaming, modern gaming. I think Seb's touched on a few points. It's almost like my gaming counselor, really. Disenfranchised, yeah, that's probably why I'm finding myself playing PSP. I love the Switch too, but for some reason I just want this casual throwaway experience right now. And the Switch 2 still feels quite special. I don't know why. But generally, gaming's definitely feeling a little bit disenfranchised. I've got a few big bangers on the backlog that I'm going to get to. So that's possibly why I do feel a bit robbed at the minute. But generally, I just don't like the wind of change in the hair of gaming that I feel right now, Seb, I would say.
I get that.
It's always been about the money. But there was
Feels like it's all about the money now. Though.
Yeah, and before there were lots of like distractions and things going on that didn't make it feel like it was all about the money. And I'm like a prime example. And I bought all the tat that could have possibly come out this gen: Series S, Series X, VR2, Portal, Pro.
God, you ain't lying. When you bought the VR2, I was like, he's committed in this generation. He's committed.
Switch 2, all the official tat that goes with all that ephemera.
Yeah, for sure.
Controllers for the Xbox, controllers for PlayStation. Not yet double dipped on another controller for the Switch 2, but no doubt will do because I don't like to get up and press the on button because I'm a fat slob. I don't think I'm fat.
At least you know it though. You know, like you know who you are, man.
Yeah, I'm
not.
not fat. I'm probably just a little obese, but I am lazy. So that's why I'll spend $70 on a genuine Nintendo Switch 2 controller so I can sit in my gym pajamas and not get up. Simple as that.
Not the unofficial controller though.
No.
Yeah.
I refuse to be given it.
Controller.
I'm the big brother. You have to play with the unofficial controller. I get all the good stuff.
Oh, I gotcha.
And as I say, I've dipped hard this gen. And with the Switch 2, one would say I've got a foot in the next gen as well. You could argue.
I mean, you do because I'm like, that's already what $2,300 minimum.
Well, there we are. So I've got my foot in the future. I've got my foot in the past with my PSP memory cards with some guy's Matrix movie on there. I'm a guy who's everywhere, but I tell you what, Seb, I do feel a bit, as you say, it used to be all about the money, but now it is all about the money. I touched on it before.
It's different.
Only the hardcore are keeping these consoles alive. Am I that hardcore guy? Maybe I am. Maybe you are. Without us, the gaming landscape would look a hell of a lot different. So, yeah, strange. I don't feel like they support the people that support them as well as they should. But hey, how can they pick us out in a pile, Seb? They can't, can they?
They don't care to. Yeah.
And most of the point, they don't care to. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of disinfra. And I feel like that's why I look on the Discord and people are getting great fun out the sort of RGT games in the past section where they're all playing through some bangers from the PS3 era. I'm picking up the PSP when I really shouldn't be. I've been playing
Did you hear that story that came out on from New York Times where they looked at the chart of games for game sales, and then they surveyed people. They did a whole litany of different quantifiable data that shows that most modern day gamers are only buying 1 to 2 new games every year now.
This was the information I talk about, and it's right at the other end of the skew was like a hardcore gamer that was buying like 12, 20, 30 games.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Just going knee deep into it.
Yeah, and
like a pig in slop.
Yeah, and those pigs in slop are the only thing propping up these house of cards. And you got to think to yourself, I don't see the love and support to those. And they're your early adopters. They're your day ones. They're your crazy guys. And
you're lying.
And I see a lot of support at the other end of the market for the casuals that come in and do a lot of the microtransactions, which actually provide a hell of a lot of the wealth to these businesses now. But then at the other end of the spectrum, you got people chucking down hard cash, like real chunks of change. And they're getting, I mean, PSVR 2 as a prime example. That's a huge chunk of change. And I'll be honest with you, that's a big.
I wonder what the ROI is.
Mate, that's a bigger kick in the balls than any Games Pass price increase.
Oh, that they didn't support it at all?
Yeah. I mean, the best support that's ever come to the PSVR 2 is from Microsoft.
I do think this is a lot on PlayStation, but this is also on y'all PlayStation VR sickos. Like, y'all enabled them to do this because y'all went out and supported them not once. Y'all supported them one time, and they did this to you. They gave you very minimum support, and then y'all sickos, just like y'all fiend for it again. They were like, "We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him again. We're not gonna support this thing again."
Listen, mate, I supported him with the VR1. I did, right? And I had some really great experiences on that system. I actually used it and I enjoyed it. Maybe I didn't use it as much, admittedly. Now it's framed in nostalgia, but when I first got it, I mean, that thing got the wheels kicked out of it. And I went back and I played all the way through Blood and Truth with the Move controllers.
When they give you a Moss, Blood and Truth, and what was the other one? There was like 4 big games.
Oh, Iron Man, but mate, if I had to review that game, I'd be giving it a 3. It's one of the worst
and Batman,
games I've
maybe?
played. Yeah, Batman, I would, as an experience, I'd give that a 7. Still to this day, I think if you're in the right environment and the tech holds up, it feels great to be Batman.
You invested in the wrong VR, is what you did. You should have went meta. Because at least they would have given you you would have got Half-Life Alyx. You would have got Arkham Shadows, which I actually heard was phenomenal.
Mate, I tell you what, Zuckerberg's getting nothing from me.
I get it. That's where you draw the line?
Yeah, there.
Nintendo's going to get you for 10,000 copies of Zelda, but Zuckerberg, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, Zoidberg gets nothing from me. Right.
Zoidberg, like Futurama.
Listen, guys, thank you. Oh my God, he's here. Thank you so much for listening. The show was free. It will always be free, as is the imminent to launch Flashback. Maybe a slight delay on that, guys, because we just need to pin down one whole day, and I mean probably 8 to 10 hours to record every episode for a month to get that done. Yeah, it's a big commitment, but we're doing it. But we're just, obviously, I'm moving house. RGT's changing his tampon. I don't know whatever else is going on. Seb doesn't really know about retro. No,
I'm not a retro guy, so yeah.
So you can't help us out in the studio with that. But, we've got a lot going on. So Flashback, we're going to try, like I say, it'll be every week going forward, but we just need to break the back of it with the first 4. Then we're good to go. So anytime in November, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I think we might put the pilot back out as a tester for the channel and the hosting tech to make sure that's working as we want it to. But in the meantime, enough backroom news. You don't want to know what we're struggling with on a weekly basis. You just want your content. God damn it, you've had an absolute slice this week. So thank you to Triple S. So use the catchphrase, and if the AI is going to pick up and name this show anything, I think it should be called Pigs in Slop. Because
Man,
you guys,
I said that like 4 times. My bad.
you
My
guys,
bad.
no, I like it. Another T-shirt, please. I want to see you as a farmer pouring out feed as all of us sort of pigs come and trough at the triple S train.
There needs to be like a on the shirt. It needs to have like one guy, and it has like a Nintendo head with a PlayStation body and Microsoft like arms on the like a logo on each part of them, and he's just pouring something into the trough, and it's got like a controller on the piggy, and the controller on the piggy, and it's like unofficial controller presents pigs and slop.
I love it. I love it. Well, you've been like pigs, the aforementioned Pigs in Slop, and keep an eye out on the download section for the latest T-shirt featuring Seb's almost 1984 vision of what a gamer feels like. I love it. Well, to be fair, guys, thank you very much for what you've done. As I said, the show will always be free,
sure.
But if you do want to support, just look at the link at the bottom of the show, wherever you found it, and you find yourself a little link to a nice secure area where you can support us from as little as $3 a month, which is less than a coffee. Let's face it, 1 month, 1 day, you just spend the extra $3, God damn it, you've got it, right? And do you know what you get straight away? A T-shirt. Do you know what you get every year? T-shirt. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. Right, let's get stuck into it. So, proud supporter, Retroed, thank you for that.
All right. Next up, we have Carlos.
He's my one-man George fan club, by the way.
Oh, did he
Yeah.
commit to this?
He did. He put a ring on it.
Oh, and wasn't under duress?
Mate, he didn't circle round it. He just dialed 0, boom, straight in.
So not like a shotgun wedding or anything.
Oh, well, I'll be honest with you. I'm up for it.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. I don't
Okay,
swing
so
that
next
way,
up.
but if he bowled up to me with full of confidence, I don't think I could turn him down.
Not if he looked you right in the eyes.
Not eyes, or what did you say?
Not if he looked you right in the eyes.
Oh, I thought you said ass.
Oh, no! No! We went PG. We went away from PG hard.
Oh,
in this episode. My bad.
Oh, dude, no, PG's a distant memory. We're in the Attitude Era. Up next.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, you didn't know? That's why I dropped the F-bomb mid-show, stopped myself, and then carried on. Because even I forget that we abandoned that some time ago. But we're good boys, so we don't normally get too carried away. Up next,
Yeah,
I'll
for
tell
sure.
you what, if you were thinking about making any sort of investment, crypto, you name it, if generally you just wanted to get involved in broadening your financial circumstances, here's a man who supports us that supports you. He's Firm Returns. Hunt him down on X. He's on there. He's talking to the crypto bros. To be honest with you, I heard they go to him for advice. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
deadly serious. I know you're a man of the world. You've probably got some Bitcoin sitting in your back pocket. If you want to turbocharge that Bitcoin and be on a yacht in Monaco by this time next week, you speak to Firm Returns, Seb.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right.
Take the
Next up,
UCP paycheck,
I
invest
can't make
that.
the little register noise immediately. I said it said ching.
One day I'll pay someone to
Anyways.
put it in. Who's next?
All right, so we're going from Monaco all the way to my neck of the woods, the States, everybody. We're going to Trestles, New York.
The finest wings in Queens. Next is a man. He's a cosmos. He's a religion. It's Roast Space Monk.
And next up, we got my homeboy himself, all the way down with the Italian accent. Do I say it right, George?
You do. He's,
Okay. Bada pink star.
Now, if you say "Stammi bene,"
Stop it, Bendy.
yeah, that's it. Just take care. That means I get to wrestle with a man that, to be honest with you, he would be an icon. He'd be like Chris
Okay.
Jericho. He's got a list, right? If you're on
you
it,
just made the list.
yeah, I just made Dingle Tuner's list, and he's up there. He's got me in the walls of Jericho, to be honest. And while he's doing it, he's playing a very rare but expensive. Don't tell his wife. RPG, JRPG. That's the sort of guy he is.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a multitasker.
okay.
That's it. I was.
I was like, what happened? I thought we got cut off for a second.
We maybe did. Oh, next I'll take it. It's Digital Monkery. He's one of the sheriffs of the Discord. I popped in there the other day, and him and Bo Baloba were talking all tech talk about keeping the Discord, doing this, doing that. I don't know what's going on. It was like listening to Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo talk about Pythagoras. I thanked them for their time, and I ducked out quick. I was like, I don't want to get exposed to being an idiot. So the best thing to do in a situation where that could happen is leave.
Back it up. Back it up.
Get out. So thank you, DM.
All right. Next up, we got Ball.
Wow. Okay. Which means I get the other sheriff of the Discord. He's a slightly bigger boy. He's tall. He's been dressed as Ghost from Call of Duty. I'm guessing at that because I'm not a proper COD fan. He's been also the Scream guy, walking around with the beautiful Kerry's World on Instagram. This is Bo. This is Squeeze. It's okay. It's beautiful. We see it play out across all these geeky events. And he's now in the cosplay. He's been a Scream. Now he's doing Ghosts.
Boba's a cosplayer?
He is now. He is. I
Oh,
know.
that's so cool.
This is the law of the show, that Boba's now taken on his own new law, and he's out there. He's on the cutting edge of Comic Cons, collectibles. He's everywhere. And then,
Man, I wish I could cosplay.
And you know the bonus about it is he does his haul like shots on Instagram, so you get to see all the bits they've been buying.
That's really cool.
Does
I
it
didn't
get
know
any?
that Boba was a legend like that.
Oh,
Cosplayer.
oh yeah. He had
Man.
he was a full COD cosplay.
That's really cool. I can name you 4 COD people right now.
Pricky
I could
Price.
name you. Oh, is that a real person?
Yeah, Captain Price. He's one of them, isn't he?
I feel like that. I feel like it could be. I couldn't name you. I played the last campaign and couldn't name you anybody. that's how bad I am. But
Up next.
and the campaign's good.
Can you if you had a stepson and he was ginger, how would you feel about that?
I'd say, Ginge, let's go get some soup. Ginge, ladies and gentlemen. Ginge, I would feel very well about it, by the way.
That's awesome.
Ginge. And then you already did too, so I'll go ahead and do the next one. Javi Retro.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, next up, back from a world tour promoting the show. This is what fans do for us. It's unbelievable. Bull Borders also just, I think he might still even be in Brazil for all I know right now. But Emma Sharp's back from a world tour, so thank you very much for representing us the world over. And thank you to everyone that listens in the over 100 countries and over 4,000 cities now, Seb. Can you believe that?
Nah, man, that's great. That's absolutely great. We're worldwide now.
Oh,
Worldwide.
I heard we're the only station being played on the Tesla that's currently rocketing through the solar system.
Oh, are we anywhere in Europe, like in the Germany area? Area?
I think we have some German listeners, but I tell you, I don't think they're anywhere. What's the capital of Germany?
I'm not really sure, but I don't think it's nowhere near Berlin, which is our next subscriber.
But we should try and sync everybody through like that, because I tell you,
Oh, like making it paragraphy? Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
because I tell you someone who's never been to Berlin, and that's the very sweet Mumsy. But I tell you someone who does get involved in RGT Fan Club is his Mumsy, so thank you to the RGT Fan Club. But someone who's not in his fan club, but is very strong, so strong that he could probably lift the entire RGT Fan Club on his shoulders, is Pete Brocklehurst. But I tell you
wish you'd been
one,
there.
I tell you one breakfast item Pete Brocklehurst will not tolerate in no way.
Won't eat it.
He won't
Won't
eat it. He
eat it.
wants nothing to do with it, and that's Marmite. And that's our next contributor, Billy Marmite. Which brings me on, sadly, to a situation where I think quite rightly, seeing as you took a whole Zangief in the mouth last week. I'm not even joking. Or maybe I did. I don't even know which way this went down anymore. But I'm going to take the Zangief.
Oh, you're going to take it? You're going to take
Yeah.
the challenge?
Yeah, for the team. So how would you
Okay.
like me to deliver the Zangief?
Oh, okay. I want you to do this like you stubbed your toe on one of your children's toys, but then also at the end of it, say it with elation. Like from pain to elation, if you can. All right. And everybody, he's composing himself. We're getting the
I'm dying.
We're getting the scene ready,
We've
everybody.
never ever had one like this before, so just give me a minute
No.
to think about how I might want to portray it.
He's getting his delivery ready, everybody. This is the magic here. This is the magic. This is what a director has to do. He has to bring it out of his actor, if you will. So George,
so I stubbed my toe. Boom.
you stub your toe on one of the kids' toys.
Right. Okay.
I would probably say
So I'm using an empty appetizer bottle
yes.
to stub because I'm a method actor, to
Okay,
stub
gotcha.
my toe, and then the what do you reckon? Just the geef is the elation.
Yes, and at the end you're elated, like almost like you stubbed your toe, but then the family's walking through the door and you've seen them for the first time that day. So you're elated to see them, but you also just
I'm very nervous because in many ways up until now, Fat Zangief has been a very sexually orientated thing. And you've tied in two things that I probably wouldn't directly really relate to that scenario. So this delivery
You're not really elated when you have sex?
Yeah, but the emotions you're giving me are having a Zangief while stubbing my toe, whilst simultaneously my beloved family walking through the door and see me at my most almost sexually exposed, Seb, if I may be so bold. And
I didn't mean to take that direction, but
just
I like
buckle
it.
up, right? Okay, so but you, at the same token, you want me to act pain, which I can understand, but then
for sure.
elation,
Elation, absolutely elation.
yeah, okay.
So
But the scene is set. Okay, so okay.
you know what I mean? You gotta set it.
Yeah, okay. I know. Okay, so
All right, and everybody, we're ready in 3, 2, 1, action.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. It was slapstick into a little bit of elation there at the end. I like that.
That really hurt as well.
I didn't tell you to go method with it.
Well, that's how these things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I was a little taken aback by your effort last week. I'll be honest. I think
Did I deliver?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm still wearing half of it. With that done, all the subs have got their wishes granted. They got their readout. Some in the way they wanted, some necessarily not. And apologies to those. No offence meant or given. Seb, what are you hoping to play this gaming week?
I'm gonna play the next 2 episodes of Dispatch, which dropped. The superhero Telltale like game experience that I told you about.
Tasty.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play a little bit of that.
It's delivered episodically, or is that just what the levels are called?
No. So yeah, they decided they wanted to do not just episodically. They do a 2-parter because they're coinciding with like what they called the superhero Halloween like experience. So like they have like one of the things that coincided with I think the ending like marketing wise, what they emailed is like the ending with the boys all the way to like Halloween, and because they have like different themes that are going on in the game. But then it is ending November 12th, so I'm like the ending's right around the corner.
Right.
So yeah, I'll be playing the next 2 because they drop them in 2s as well. So I'll be playing the next 2 chapters. So that was the first 2 chapters I think were magnificent.
Are they linked? these episodes.
Yeah, everything is linked. Everything's
Nice.
linked. If you want to get the full experience, I would say wait till November 12th. But I think if you like, I almost like this and this little thing because it feels Saturday morning cartoons meets The Boys. It feels like that kind
Yeah.
of vibe to where like, oh, every week I'm getting like 2 banger episodes and they're both treats and they keep me on my toes as far as the main story.
I think that's actually what I like about the delivery, and I actually hope that kind of delivery method almost sees its way through to the full release.
Yeah.
That would be special. That would be cool.
Yeah, it really, it's an innovative idea. The delivery method keeps you engaged enough to where you want to keep coming back to it. And then like the story, it's good enough to where you think about it throughout the week. So like at the end of every week, you're like, oh snap. It's dispatch time. I finally get to know what happens next, on the big decision I made. So I'll play that. I'm thinking maybe if this continues the way I want it to, I'll play the Outer Worlds 2. If not, I might drop that one. But outside of that, I've been playing Ballix Pit, which is an indie that's been taking the world by storm. And then I'm feeling footballsy, so I might jump into college football again. So what about you, George? What are you playing?
I'll be honest, probably take a walk on the wild side, probably a little bit of PSP, probably Vice City Stories. I don't know why. I'm having a nice experience there. Other than that, probably set the Switch up. I think we'll see some Persona 5 over the weekend, hopefully.
On the Switch. The Switch.
Oh, baby, it's great.
It's great. It's a turn-based game, too, so it's not like it's
same experience
or anything.
Yeah. I say that it's a full fat experience, but it might not be quite as jazzy.
That's unfortunate because the jazz is one of the best parts of Persona. At least Persona 5.
No, it's still there, but it's not quite as quick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As quick as far as like load times, turn-based.
And maybe if you probably crawled up to the screen and started counting pixels, you'd be like, well, it's not so. Like, no.
Ain't nobody doing that.
It's totally playable.
Yeah.
And very enjoyable. So hopefully a bit of that. As I mentioned, I got Madden. I hopefully start giving that a whirl.
What do you do in Madden? Like, how do you play Madden? Because I'm a franchise guy. I just pick my team and go with that.
The way I've played it recently is I tried to get a similar experience to my MLB experience, where I played as the pitcher. The only real way I've been able to replicate that when you play through as a career as one player, which takes away the fundamental sort of joy of Madden for me, is you kind of play as the quarterback. So you can,
my advice is play as the running back in that mode.
Do you think?
Oh, because you get the ball. The quarterback, you always have the ball in your hand, but then like the running back reading like the lines, reading like the offensive lines and figuring out where the gap is, and then bursting that through, and also combining with running routes as well. And it hits that dopamine a little bit more so than just the monotony of the monotony, I should say.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm also a big passing guy. I like to see football played in the passing style. I don't like to see the ball ran up. And it's a bit weird to say this because it's probably the most boring way of playing it, but I don't like to see the ball ran all the time. I like to see the air dominated, and I like to see that, the first downs are coming from real successful passes and those runs you talk about, but I like to know that I'm threading the ball, and that's the experience I want from it. I get your running back thing. Maybe this time
you probably picked the wrong game, I think, because I think like for what you want out of that experience, I think you probably should have went college football, because you would have walked on. You would have been like a recruit. You also have the portal to think about and such like that. And then like you have different, some of the mechanics are interchangeable, like the leading the quarterbacks and such like that, the actual like bar meters now that they have in the passing game. But like on the quarterback side of the fence, though, you also have the constant quarterback competitions that I think add to the game in college football that they don't necessarily have in Madden, because I'm like, once you're over a certain ranking, a certain overall, you're automatically there. In college football, it's like matching the schemes with like the quarterback, with like the actual offensive coordinator, and like there's a whole lot more. I feel like depth in the franchise mode playing as a quarterback in college football than there actually is in Madden. Versus where I feel like in Madden, the wide receivers and running backs, and also I'd probably say the offensive line feels like more in depth.
Yeah. Interesting. So I might dust that out on the Switch. Goodness knows, I'm expecting that to look half decent, mate, if I'm honest.
I mean, Switch 2, I hear it runs pretty well.
Yeah. I've been impressed with it to this point. If it could run Cyberpunk, it'll do a pretty decent job of a Madden. Even if it's like the PS4 Pro version, I'd be happy with that. Other than that, I can't, maybe a bit of MLB. I keep going back to it, to be fair. It's a guilty pleasure of mine on PS5. It's just a nice way to while away a couple of hours. 20 minutes a game. Normally, at the minute, I'm still struggling with the sliders. It does my head in. It's just so hard. And I actually knocked it down the other day on purpose. Like, I knocked the slide, I knocked it down a difficulty level, then turned the slider back on.
Just so you can go ape and just go ham on a couple of. So you can feel like a god in that game.
Well, I only knocked it down once, one setting, to be fair, and it made barely any difference. Like the pitchers, and it's true of real baseball. Like the pitchers just having such a tough time in the modern game.
Gotcha.
The pitch clock, everyone seems, obviously the sport loves it when people hit banger after banger. And like sometimes in MLB especially, you tend to have them kind of run ragged on you as a pitcher. Like you'll lock them down for a long time and then someone will get a base or two and you're like, oh, you get sweaty and then the bases are loaded and then someone will just come in. And even if you've like pitched it in the dirt, boom, home run, done.
Oh, that's rough. That's real rough.
And it's that the difficulty is at that stage where I'm constantly, and I think I'm pretty good, but I'm constantly fighting this sort of battle of like, oh, there's one on base, okay, ground ball, try and get him out, try and get then try and get a double play. It's hard. It is hard at that difficulty.
It's also no competition with that game. There's no other AAA level baseball game out there, so you're not seeing any innovations into the year by year versions of that.
And
game.
As a kind of long term commitment to that now, I am starting to feel, and I think this, I love the game, but I feel a bit burnt out. I don't know how people keep doing the FIFAs year in, year out, and the Maddens year in and year out. I dip into Madden, but I don't buy it yearly. I can't. I'll get the next MLB. I will, won't I, on the Switch? I've already told you.
I mean, you're a sicko, so you're a sicko. You're gonna get it, but no, you are. I'm like, you are. You know it. You bought the PSVR. You get MLB every year. It's just who you are. It's ingrained in you. What I
sometimes get it twice.
Oh, that you're double dipping. Yeah, that's crazy. But what I do is that I like to. Whatever sports game that because I only play a couple, whatever sports game that I played one year, next year is my off year. So like, and by the time I pick it up again, like the year after next, it feels a little more like coming back home. It feels home cooked, like a home cooked meal. So and
I think that's a really good idea because I've noticed like I haven't ever really extracted like the full value out the MLBs. Like I've had some deep careers within the 12 months of the game's release, but never really as deep as I fantasize them going. I'm talking like a 10-year career and you're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's on me because I play as a pitcher so the games are longer. If you play as a batter, you go bam, bam, bam and you're out. Bam, bam, bam and you're out. Bam, bam, bam and you're out. And it's quick,
You can do 2 seasons really quick, as opposed to a pitcher where you're feeling like one season feels like it took you 4 months.
Oh, mate, genuinely, and as you're coming up,
sure.
And nowadays, like I started the latest MLB, you can start from the college and then play up into the leagues and then up through into MLB. Mate, I am still only just in AAA.
Yeah, so yeah, you got a journey ahead. By that time, I'm like, the next game is on your horizon. By the time
And
you're
that's
ready.
what and that's what I found with last year's iteration. I just scraped
Yeah.
to MLB, and it was like, boom, the new one's out next month. It's like, damn it! What do you want from me?
So in that case, I would definitely recommend you do the every other year concept,
Okay,
and that
well,
way, like,
we'll start from next year,
yeah, and then like
I'll
that
double
head
dip,
start from next year,
and
yeah,
then I'll
you're gonna
never,
double
and then,
dip.
yeah, and then I'll
But
pause for a while.
yeah, and then I think like that'll give you some fresh perspective on like who you are as a gamer, and also like when you come back to it, it feels like home cooking. You know, like
What
it
if I
feels like
fall off the wagon and then don't come back?
just play the old game you already bought. If you fall off the wagon, instead of buying the new one, commit that money. Like instead of buying the new one and committing money to that, just I fell off the wagon and I can now return safely into the safety net that is the last version of the game that I already own. No,
Or I'd probably
it
go
gives
all
you
the way.
just
I
a
think
must.
I'd probably go back to MLB 22, which was
If
maybe
the servers are still active, you know, like at
mate,
that
I
point,
own it. I own it.
yeah,
Yeah. So I don't need any of the online stuff. And mate,
yeah. So
I was playing MLB 14, 30, 14 on the Vita. It was still sort of what I love about picking up old sports games is they're recommending, some of them are still tapped into the online so they can recommend the latest game, but those that can't kind of recommend the one up from it.
yeah, they're like, "Have you played 15 yet? It's the hottest new game." And you're like, "Oh, the 15 from 10 years ago."
It's exactly what it's like.
Have you played 15? Oh, it looks nice and shiny. It's waiting for you. And you're like, I would have to scourge the internet right now to find 15. Thank you very much.
You would as well. I think it's unless you do the illegal route, it's a physical impossibility on the Vita. So that would be
for sure.
That's dead and done. Seb, only really left for me to thank you so much for your time. I want to get everyone pointed round to your content. One day I'll get you fully on board and everything released under the UCP banner, but he's still...
Yeah, you're just going to buy me out at that point.
I am. Before the end of the year, it'll happen. But until then, where can they find you, Seb?
Man, you can find me at the Single Player Experience podcast. And that's the podcast where I talk about like some single player games that you need to keep your eyes and ears out for, like the ones that are on the horizon and the games that you should currently be playing or at least having your backlog. So, recent content, I dropped the top games that you should check out from the Steam Next Fest, which is basically like a quarterly thing that Steam does, to where they put out like small little bite-sized demos of games that are going to be big on the horizon, or games they feel like are going to be absolutely bangers that you need to play. Anno was on the list. That was one of those games that you not on my list, but it was actually on a list of on Steam Next Fest that you should check out. Like, so if you like games like Anno, like Yakuza, if you like roguelike games and such like that, hear all about that on my podcast, The Single Player Experience. We also talked about like recently Halo going to PlayStation, which feels like blasphemy. Everybody,
I saw that clip. It was good. You're right. It does feel like blasphemy.
It feels like we're in the dark timeline. But
I tell you what it feels
weird.
like. I tell you what it feels like. It feels like Sonic on the GameCube.
Yeah, it feels weird. It just feels wrong. But yeah, it's like one of those things. But yeah, you can check me out over there. And yeah, if you like what you hear here in the show, you can get more of me and just all of me, just right over there in the Single Player Experience podcast. It is
I didn't know it was
available.
that kind of show.
Oh yeah, you can catch it on OnlyFans as well. But anyways, yeah,
Wow.
you can get no, I'm joking. But
Just a below desk webcam version of it.
Eyes up here, everybody. Eyes up here.
Played absolutely straight top underneath.
Yeah.
Well, magic happens.
Yeah, for sure. And then I got like I got controller logos like on my chest and everything. But no, but yeah, you can find that on YouTube or your favorite podcast
Sponsored
services.
by Huel going up your thigh.
Oh yeah, for sure. The naughty boy, Sebastian. But as opposed to Sexy Boy Shawn Michaels, the naughty boy. But I'm just the naughty boy.
Wow. I'd pay money to see that. Well,
But
would I?
but yeah, everybody, you can catch me over there. George, what did you say? What you're hoping to play?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned MLB. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of that, everybody, thank you so much for listening to us ramble on.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a great episode. I think a great counterpoint to the last one. Hopefully, got some gaming news to discuss next week. Hopefully, we'll see a rotation of the other boys as well. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll inject
the
a
good
little
old
bit
boys.
of. It's just the good old boys.
Never meant no harm.
Never, honestly, we never meant any harm. And that's all we have time for this week, listeners. Always thank you for your time. Look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do that counts. See you, Seb.
Except if you're George. Bye.
Very true. Got to be official.
Yeah, for sure.